Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fabulous Tuesday.
It's a special
It is a big day in Fab. It's the first Tuesday after the very first World Championship, 2022.
People look back in, 20 years and be like, oh my God, the first one.
It happened. They were there, or Zach was at least. I regret to inform everyone that I am not a world champion. It was not me, but you know what? I feel like I was so close. It would make your head spin.
And you're kind of like it takes a village to raise a child. That child being Michael Hamilton, of course.
Yeah, the first world champion.
Although some would argue that he raised himself and then wandered into a village and was like, hey, you guys want to hang out? You know what I mean?
And just drug all of us along with him. Yeah, I'm not here to say how much I was or wasn't responsible for his victory, but honestly, all joking aside, Michael Hamilton is a great person, and I couldn't. We'll get to the stories in a minute, but I couldn't be happier that he's the first world champion. I think if you're a publisher of a game that is putting this much emphasis on the competitive side and these big events, I don't think you can ask for a nicer, friendlier, more humble, more genuine person than Michael Hamilton to be that champion.
A great ambassador for the game, even just from the sidelines. It very much struck me. I said in the Discord, it strikes me as Paul Heaver for X-Wing.
Yeah.
Same kind of vibe. It's like, this is the guy that you want. Paul flies in on an X-Wing. I think literally. Michael Hamilton literally is just playing Fab in his head 24/7 and knows what he's doing and is so gracious in all the interactions he has with people in the game. So incredible stuff. I am not going to be here for very long.
I'm going to be solo for a little while.
We're launching a new web platform, etc. next week. We're planning to. Migrations and such, it's all very stressful. But
it's been like, so for a little backstory on that process, just so everyone has context, we brought on Larry as a full-time developer last May, and originally it was like, we're going to have you do this project. It's local focused. There's technology we want to do for 3.0. But then he got in here, understood where we were going, what was happening, and started really diving into the system. And very bravely recommended that we burn everything to the ground and build a whole new platform for a lot of really good reasons. But that process has essentially been going since last May. Yeah. In one way or another. And this is the culmination and the schedule for next week, and there's stuff that you've got to be doing that's very important. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'll be here talking to all of you about the World Championship experience.
You're able to, I will change this to subscribers only. You're able to solo this thing. So I'm going to ask you some questions, just kind of get things settled, and then I'm going to go right over there and get back into the CSV files that we know so well. Starting off, what happened? I heard Michael won. I mean, that was crazy. I woke up to that news.
Yeah, you came into the Discord at like, when was that? Yesterday morning? Monday morning?
I was like, what?
Hey, wait, Michael won. This is amazing.
So tell us everything, man. Start from chapter 1. You were born, you know?
Well, the date is, let me look real quick.
Subscribers only. It's not because we don't like non-subscribers. We do like you as well. But the spammers will be here in no time, so we've got to switch it back. At least make them subscribe to spammers.
Let me actually put a date on this thing. We're going to lean back today into this whole process. Let me find it. I just need to find a specific one thing here.
Ooh, is it the first stream or is it the first Wolfpack update?
I want to find the stream where the Wolfpack was born.
Ooh, you know what I mean? that was a spicy stream.
I don't know when that was.
I'm always bringing the salt, but you rarely are bringing the spice, and you brought the spice.
I brought the spice. I don't remember when that was, but I'm pretty sure that was it was about 5 weeks before Pro Tour 1, so it must have been late March. Yeah, right after the Indy calling, which is when Wolfpack happened. And that's a whole story. If you really want to know all that, you can go back and see that whole process. But I don't know, man. I don't even know where to start.
Well, first of all,
I just know the last 6 weeks was a haze of testing.
How did you prepare for Worlds?
Yeah, that's it.
And what was the goal going in for the team and for you?
The goal was to win. I think everyone's goal was to win. So there are a handful of things that were around concepts when we started the Wolfpack, and a lot of it was we love Fab, we love playing the game, we want to be as good as we possibly can. But some teams I found out, I didn't know this was a thing because I never played a game where this could be a thing. But they have like NDA agreements and they have contracts like we're going to split prize money and we're going to like, 25% of any winnings is going to go to the team and it's going to be evenly divided because I get it. It's like the people you test with do help you be more successful. And so even if they don't succeed, but you do, it's kind of rewarding the fact that, they were productive in that manner. So,
man, I got to tell you, it seems especially relevant now that Hamilton's walking with $100,000. Well, I think maybe you should consider that.
Yeah. Well, we did just a few weeks before the event, we signed a deal, which is half of all winnings go directly to Zach.
That's right.
Post-tax, of course.
Yeah, of course.
No, but basically it was like we're all here because we love the game and we want to play it with people that love the game and that we enjoy being around. And we're all serious about getting good, but not so serious that it's like, I'm counting on you to run the best deck possible because you not winning is actually me losing out on winning or that kind of stuff. So I think all of us had dreams and aspirations of winning, and I think we put in a lot of work to be in a position to do that. And to prepare, it's kind of been a year-long process, right? Once we started preparing last year for the Collins, it was kind of all leading to the first World Championship. My goal early on was I need to get a PTI so I can make sure I can go to Worlds. Yeah. Step one. So really, there's like layers of goals, but my number one goal is just to be there.
Yeah.
Step
get there.
Yeah, get there.
Get the invite, basically.
And once you're there and it's locked, the goal is to surround yourself with people you enjoy playing the game with that are the best people you can do that with. And put in the work to see if you can go take the whole event.
What does the work actually look like? Because I know that I pretty well checked out of the process because I can't commit this much to this, even though I might wish that I could. So just for people watching, that are like, I'd like to be world champion. What does it actually look like for you guys to get ready for this thing?
Well, first you have to be gifted by God. It's been said a lot, but I do think Michael is built a bit different. I've gotten so much better since I've started talking to him, playing with him, and everyone on the Wolfpack brings their own energy and spice and perspective to the team. And I think it's really important. We were testing what it was like to have a team. The name Team Covenant, right? I mean, we were a team, but we were all from the same small town. We were playing it's just totally different.
We were just playing against each other. We didn't really take it super seriously.
Yeah, and it wasn't like there was $100,000 on the line. Yeah. It's just a different vibe. But the process to kind of get into what you were asking about. So since April, and really before that. So with our previous, not team, testing group, as certain millennials would refer to it by our Gen Zers, I don't know, Zoomers. Our previous testing group, we tested.
Testing group's a little too much care, just the right amount of commitment.
Yeah.
Right? Team is a little too much commitment. Yeah. Right? We don't want to.
It was the source of all the whole Arsenal Pass Wolfpack drama. Some of us thought it was a team, some of us thought it was a testing group, and then once that was clear later, all
I've had relationships like that in my past as well.
Yeah, what is this? But no, but really, when we started testing with Arsenal Pass last year, the key thing was just Monday through Friday every morning.
Every single morning, like an hour and a half every morning?
Usually it was an hour and a half. So you can get 2 or 3 games in every day. And then weekends, a lot of times there's events or you have longer testing stuff scheduled. So when we started testing as the Wolfpack in April, we kind of maintained the same schedule. So it was just 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m., Monday through Friday, and then longer sessions on Saturday and Sunday as it made sense. And a lot of times that's when you have ProQuest or Road to Nationals. So it's less of that necessarily going on. So that had been maintained, but with Worlds, we were at the National Championship a little over a month ago, and then it's Worlds. So the series, this one dials up to 11, So, and that's part of the story for me is I previously for Pro Tour 1 had struggled with what hero to take. That was Chain and Starvo meta. And I took Briar and did pretty good, but at the time I had struggled with it and then decided I'm just going to play what I want to play. Regardless, it's not the best choice, but I'm just going to make it work. And it panned out that time. And so about a month ago, I there's a lot of really good players on the team. It's not just Michael either. There's very consistent, high performing.
Don't start naming them, man. Someone will get their feelings hurt.
They're all really good.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's really incredible how good the team actually is. But as I think everyone here is aware, I like Viserai, I like Briar.
Yeah.
Two of my favorite decks. I played Viserai at Nationals, and in the constructed portion, it went very well for me. It was just that darn Uprising draft format that got me. But
see, the thing is that the important thing here is you have not been able to sever your joy for the theme of the things in the game from the effectiveness of those things.
Right.
Like you'll play within a pool of things you like and choose the best of them, but like getting you to switch to like Oldhim or something is a monumental task. You're not willing to sacrifice it ultimately.
The question was, now that it was Worlds and there was a lot more on the line, and it's a weird tournament because there's only 5 rounds of constructed. So even if you played a hero you weren't the fondest of, you only play so many games of that. It's not like you're playing 16 rounds of Oldhim, which I don't think I would do, even if he was the best deck, clearly. So I ended up actually playing Oldhim for Blitz, but Blitz is different too. That's a whole thing.
Can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, but like a month ago, I was really struggling with, I want to play Viserai or Briar, but I think Icelander is objectively the best deck. Fi is close, and Oldhim is also very close. And the team, Andrew on the team, shared a couple gifts a couple times because he's got an attachment to Dromai. And so like we're both kind of being pulled in these directions that maybe we shouldn't be, and we're spending time on it, and that's what we're discussing and testing and all this. But there's this hilarious gif of there's like a mama bear and then there's a cub up in the top, and the mama bear is like literally shaking the tree, and he said like the team trying to convince Zach and I not to play our favorite decks, like trying to get us up off of that tree.
Yeah.
So there was time when I pivoted to Icelander for 2 or 3 days, and then I was like, I've been playing Briar, and I was struggling into Icelander. And then I was like, I'm just going to try Icelander and see how it feels. And I played it into Ian on Briar, and it was smooth sailing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is powerful. I see why I'm losing now.
Yeah.
But then I played the Mirror, and I was like, well, I don't feel any better about playing against Icelander as Icelander as I do Briar, so I may as well enjoy my time.
Icelander Mirror is the Michael Hamilton Thrive Fest.
I got about halfway through, and I was just like...
yeah, no thanks.
So then I was like, well, let me just... I felt like Briar's only bad matchup was into Icelander in my testing. And that's really important because I think people thought Fi was good into Briar, like had the advantage, but I totally disagree. Like I did a jam session with Matt, he's huge on Fi, worked it out, and it was just like, nah.
Yeah.
I think that match is very, very favored, and it panned out a lot of Briars in the top cut. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. So I was like, if I can just crack this Icelander match, I'll feel great. Oldhim had Pulse Band. Oldhim finally felt reasonable as Briar. That's the only one I'm even close to worried about. So then, of course, I go to the Icelander specialist, Michael Hamilton, who had recently won the national championship. He's an Icelander. I was like, hey, I don't work on Fridays. He had recently, he's taken some time off working, which now I guess he's a professional FAB player. But I was like, hey, I know you're available on Friday. Like, would you be willing to give me like an extended time? I have a few ideas I want to try as Briar. Just let me try it. So he's like,
it's so important to have those like long sessions where you can just really work the problem, right?
Yeah, super.
It's true with anything.
Super important. Yeah. Which we'll get back to in the future. But he played me on a Friday, and I think I went like 1-10 against him. And like I was trying different. AB1, AB2, AB3, AB4. I was trying Crown of Seeds. I was trying Oasis Respite. I was trying, can I just block until I can get a heroic out and then go? Can I just aggro you down? Like what? What's the path here? And then after that, it's like, all right, at that point, maybe I should quit. 1-10.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't good. But I felt like I was just like a turn off, like
game's
half
crazy
turn off.
for that. Yeah.
So then working on it throughout the week, and I was like, hey, can you give me one more Friday? Like, I just have a few more ideas. I just need to put them to rest. Like, can you try it? And then I won like 1 out of 10 again. Just really bad. And that's when I was in kind of a existential crisis of like, can I really take a deck that has a 90% loss rate into what just won the U.S. National Championship?
Right.
Surely people are going to be on this deck, right? Like it's going to happen. And there was 2 or 3 days there where I was just like panicking, like I don't know. And then ended up spending a couple of days I could always pivot back to Briar. I felt comfortable. Got some good advice from Eric and Tim and Michael. Just play Icelander for a couple of days. And if I'm not digging it after 2 or 3 days, I can always pivot back. But I can't go back and get 2 or 3 more days on Icelander. So I played 2 or 3 more days, wasn't feeling it. And then just locked in Briar. Here we go.
Yeah, call it a day. Yeah. Did Michael, was he waffling at all between heroes? He thought Icelander just had the best math, the best matchups.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was basically, we were just kind of discussing as a team the meta, what we expected, all that kind of stuff. And he said something to the effect of, she just feels like unfair. Like what she's doing feels fundamentally more powerful than any other deck that I've seen. Not that there couldn't be something. And we had people on Fire, we had people on Briar, we had people on Oldhim, we had a couple other people on Icelander, and we were exploring just to see, like, what's the worst match for this. But yeah, he locked in pretty early.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and then I think all of us kind of locked in with Blitz as well. Tried to quickly find something because time is limited and there's 3 formats. So we need to practice Constructed, Blitz, and Draft. So the sooner I locked in on Blitz, I could just get my reps and be done with it.
Yeah.
And then move along, because the thing that was the shadow hanging over me was in Lille and in Nationals. Constructed went really well, and the Uprising Draft portion went really bad for me. I think it was 1 and 2 both days of Pro Tour Lille, and 1 and 2 at Nationals Day 1.
I see a pattern.
Just sunk my tournament.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we'd practice, and I'll 3-0 a draft. It's like I don't understand what is happening here, which that's a longer story. But that was the thing. I was like, I needed to figure out my constructed thing, be good at draft, and then if I get to the last 5 rounds and I'm alive in Blitz, cool. Like,
yeah, that's a good strategy. Yeah.
So a lot of us settled on Oldhim really quickly.
In Blitz.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Michael very quickly was like, I think I'm just gonna play Icelander. Seems lovely. Good. Yeah. I mean, they're only at 20 health, so like you can, and that was, he was definitely on Icelander before the boots went away, and I think all of us would have been on Wizard if the boots hadn't gone away. But the boots did at least shake things up.
Yeah. So walk me through. I'll have you walk us through the tournament a little bit, and then we can get into Dynasty spoilers, and I'll get out of here. You can do that yourself. So you get there. I mean, first of all, what's the general take on the tournament format now that we had all of this noise about Blitz and whether or not it should be in that zone and how that's going to affect things? Did that play out? Like, was the sentiment there? Do you feel like it did compromise certain aspects of that tournament?
I think multi-format was the positives were it is a challenge to prepare for 3 formats. And it's a different kind of challenge. And I saw a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that at some point in the weekend, someone said that James said the intent was for this Dynasty coming out this week to be out before Worlds. Constructed supplemental set to be legal at Worlds. In which case, even if the whole event was just constructed, there's a lot of excitement there. But given that wasn't the case, 3 formats was... I think a good challenge for players to have to deal with. It also meant that you could play a hero in Constructed that maybe you need to dodge matchups more with, or maybe they can be good for a window of time, but not over 20 rounds.
Right.
Reiner might be a good example of that. Although, Reiner won the calling this weekend.
Amazing.
13 rounds of Swiss, I think. And then the top 8. So crazy. 16 rounds, Reiner wins.
Pummel Reiner, right?
Just something about a big tree. I don't know.
He's just swinging big numbers.
But I do think some of the stuff definitely played out that people are concerned about. And I'm glad that it wasn't just me feeling this way. So like the first thing is the Uprising Draft format. I think the macro conclusion I sensed across the weekend is the format is actually like so tight that 1 or 2 points of health or little things that you do, like the glacial horns freezing their arsenal, you forget to do that on like the right turn, and it costs you the game.
Yeah.
Like you get kind of 1. You don't get 1. You get
0 mistakes. Yeah.
And even then, it's the kind of thing where, like, if you get the Icelander mirror in draft and they have the cloak and you don't, it's like 90-10 odds. And there's little stuff like that. Do you have the tide flippers if you're ninja into wizard or whatever the case may be? But because it's so tight, it doesn't take much going wrong. Even the fact that there's only 42 cards that you get to pick. If you draft 3 equipment, you only have 39. And 30 of those have to be playable in your deck. So there's not a lot of space to pivot in that format. And I was talking to someone this weekend who had more experience with Magic. And it's like usually you have 22, 23 cards out of 40 in Magic that you have to draft because the rest are mana resources. And so you get 45 plus cards and you can actually splash in that game.
Yeah.
So like when you hate draft something, you might actually put 2 black resources in your deck and play that card. Whereas if I grab a red Ember Moss Centipede and I'm on Ninja, I'm just taking it
right
so that you can't have it. Right.
Yeah.
It's a very very different system. So there's that. Constructed, I think, is in a really good spot. A lot of really good decks. I think most decks have a natural counter. I don't know what the answer to Icelander is. If I did, I may have played that. Deck slaps, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe Wizard is the answer. I don't even know. And then Blitz, I think part of why I picked Oldhim is that functionally it's more like a constructed game. Because if you have the helmet with 2-in-1 armor, the gloves with 2-in-1 armor, the chest piece with 2-in-1 armor, the boots with armor, the shield with 2-in-1 armor. He really has like 34 health.
Yeah, I know.
Which is just a constructed game.
I know.
And then if your opponent doesn't have the armor, you're playing constructed and they're playing blitz, and that's a good spot to be in.
Yeah.
And whether or not I don't know. I'd be really curious to hear people watching, if you watched the coverage or participated, what your take on the formats were. But I know, like Hayden from Arsenal Pass, his constructed deck was Kano. And
that's bold.
I don't know what his blitz deck was, but he was in the last game of the tournament, round 16. And he, going into that round, I think was the 9, like rank number 9 on the sheet. So if he wins and then any number of other games someone loses, he makes top 8. And he got Reinhardt off the table on turn 1.
Oh, really?
I think it was literally just dead.
It's very ironic for that to happen to Hayden too, because he's such a Reinhardt guy.
He's the Reinhardt guy.
That is devastating. Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
So it was either like turn 0 or turn 1. And that is either super exciting and notable, like, oh man, like, yeah, you can roll in with Reinhardt and like just YOLO someone off the table and like make top 16 or whatever it is. But that would be pretty devastating to, like, if I got to all that way and then like that happened, that would be pretty brutal. So whether or not that's good or bad, people are going to have different opinions on. But the very specific thing that we talked about as a concern,
it did happen.
It happened.
The series was of value.
I don't
push it out there.
I won't go that far. You know what I mean?
Worthwhile. Nephilim here saying Icelander for Blitz is what Hayden was on, and Brandon D saying that Hayden match on camera was brutal to watch. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the kind of the highlights for me worth knowing, if I was given a TLDR on the experience. So did all the training, got all the reps, went to the event. They had a Thursday night, they had the banquet at I think called the Guild House, this like kind of nearby game space that has beer and cocktails and all that kind of stuff, which was cool. That was a fun time. Then Friday the tournament starts. I started Uprising Draft, went 3-0.
Oh.
Which is a miracle.
What hero?
Dromai.
Dromai is sick.
I had maybe the best draft deck of my entire life.
Was it Ashwing focused or Big Dragons?
Yep.
Both?
Yeah. So
That's unusual.
To tell you how good it went, I wheeled a red Ember Moss Centipede.
I don't even know how that's possible.
So what happened is it was pack 2. I opened and had Necria and red Ember Moss Centipede.
Ugh. That's a great choice.
I already had a red and a yellow Centipede.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any good dragons yet. And so I was like, Necria is a bomb. and there was a red Embermont and a blue, the one with Go Again, Centipede?
Mm-hmm.
Not Centipede.
Yeah, Doomebreaker.
Doomebreaker.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, well, there's one other illusions at the table. They'll pick the red Embermont, and so I'll get the blue back. And I need blues. Like Necro 3 cost, blocks 3, blue. No one's going to hate draft that. Like that, that'll probably come back around. And I had a strong sense there was maybe one other at the table. So it comes around. It's like the blue was gone. The red Embermont was still sitting there. I was just like, what is happening?
Wow.
So I took the Embermont, of course.
Yeah.
Meantime, like that same pack, I got past Asvali and Kyloria.
Wow.
It's like,
wow.
And
boy, that feels good.
Yeah, the draft file was stacked. My game 2 was against Shamir. He was top 4 at Pro Tour Lille. And he's one of my favorite opponents of the weekend, actually. He was just like super funny the whole time.
Love it.
And having a good time. And so that was just a great way to... I saw his name and I was like, oh no. Yeah. Also, Easton Douglas was in my draft pod, and he's one of the best players in the game as well. So I was just 3-0 after that. Feeling great. This is a miracle.
New flesh and blood god.
Like after the 3rd round, I went and, you catch up with your teammates, see how they're doing. And I remember telling Andrew, I was like, 3-0 the draft. And he was so proud because he's been there the whole time with me. He did super well at Lille on the draft portion and in general on the Battle Harden. But he was just super happy to hear that that's how you want to start a tournament, right?
Yeah.
Game 4, I played on camera.
Oh, yeah.
They streamed me against Pete Ward, which I played him in at New Jersey Pro Tour. And he was on Oldham, I was on Briar. And super close game. I had no business being in that game. Like, it was every time. He played 3 blizzards in the game, and they're all on turns that were like, heroics out. I have a go again attack with a go again attack and another attack. And it's like, well, if he doesn't do anything, I'm just going to like pile on. He was playing the ice card that if it hits, they pay to a discard. With a wolf on it, I think. Right. Ironically.
Right. Frostfang. Yeah.
And then like there were so many times where he would do something and I would be looking at my hand. It's like, all right, if I let this hit, as long as he doesn't have pummel, I'm fine. Pummel. It's like he gets the extra damage and I discard a card. It's like,
Yeah, it sucks.
Anyways, it went to time and we got a draw.
Oh.
Which is the worst outcome because it's
gross.
It's just,
did you feel like it was winnable? Like, were both players in a winning position, or should somebody have scooped ultimately?
I mean,
I guess with your rating actually on the line, the scoop doesn't make sense anymore, does it?
It's tough, and apparently I don't know how the math works, but apparently a draw is mildly better than a loss now.
That's good.
So time was called. He swings hammer. I block it. I send 7 back at him. He blocks it. And it's game over. But yeah, we were in like 3rd cycle of the deck. So I had been setting up my turn to try to get him, and he had been setting up his turn to try to get me. I think he was waiting on a Tunic so he could play a Macho Grande off 2 blues from Arsenal. With 10 dominate, it's pretty hard to do anything about. But all that to say, so I lost that game. I ended up finishing 5-2-1 on day 1. So I had the draw. I lost 2 of my constructed games. And felt pretty okay about that. And we had some really, obviously high-standing players going into day 2. Day 2 comes.
Is the general vibe that night like get some food, get some sleep?
Absolutely.
Like everyone's
not staying out,
it's that performance mindset, right? You got a marathon to run the next day.
Yeah, we're only halfway through, and man, 8 rounds is a lot. I think just going through all that. So going into day 2. I was blessed enough to be in a pod with Tarek.
Oh, cool.
Which I was actually really excited about. He was 2 down from me. So in my mind, I would have to win or lose, presume my first game to have to play him. Hypothetically, you should play the person 4 down from you and then so on and so forth. In that draft, first pick was a popper. Next 5 picks were bomb red starters. I had 2 of the Rising Resentment red. I had the 2 for 5 that if it hits, you look at the top card of your deck.
Yep.
I was just like, man, I have a popper. I've got this is going great. Next pack, I get past 0 ninja cards.
None.
So I take a blue, generic, cool. Get past the next pack, no ninja cards, blue generic. Like, okay, these had 2 ninja commons in it. The people across this table picked ninja first. Like, so these have probably disappeared because 4 or 5 picks before that, no signals that anyone next to me is on Ninja. So it's like, well, at least it's clear over here. If a couple of the packs come through that started with 3 Ninja commons show up, like I'll get one of those or whatever back. I do not see another Ninja card for the rest of pack 1.
Interesting.
So after 2 blues, I see a yellow Ice Vein. I'm like, well, just in case.
Oof. Oh, this is not good though.
Then I see a blue Aether Hail. I'm like, hey, that's good. Blue Aether Hail. Start. So after pack 1,
making that risky Icelander pivot. Oh, well, it's so devastating.
It wasn't even a pivot. It was just
there's
literally
nothing else you could take.
It's like, yeah, I guess this is what I'll be taking now. But then after pack 1, I had 5 Ninja cards, 3 generics, 2 blues, and 1 popper, and then all Wizard cards. And Wizard looked. I mean, I got a yellow Ice Vein pick 9 or 8 or whatever.
It always looks deceptively open, though, but like some other people at the table are doing exactly what you're doing right now. This is our problem.
This is the problem. This is the problem with. Yeah, this is the problem. So I open my second pack, and I'm like, all right, if I get a bomb Ninja card, I'm doing it. Like, I'm just gonna force 5.
Force 5. That's the key.
And like, if I end up on 3 baubles, fine.
Yeah.
Open my pack, red Ice Vein. I'm like, oh no. Why, Lord, why?
So, yeah, oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So you see me plunging right off the cliff into Icelander. So I finished the draft as Icelander, and honestly, I ended up with 3 of the equipment that the quelling stuff.
Yeah, okay.
I ended up with a very reasonable Icelander deck.
Okay.
Like, I had 12 blues, 8 of them were ice. I had 4 blue Aether Hails, which is like the best blue card in the deck. Yeah. I had 3 Ice Veins. Like, I was like, this, I guess it worked out. Round 1, I have no idea what happened, but I got paired into Tarek. 2 down. In my mind, I'm like, the other side of the table is Ninja. That's also part of why I pivoted.
Yeah.
It's like, they're clearly the ones taking the Ninja cards. If I end up on an okay Icelander deck, I should play Ninja first round.
Right.
No.
You play Icelander?
He was on Dromai, which is even the worst.
It's just bad.
And then he proceeds to, he may say it was a good game, but he put on a clinic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching the whole time. It's like, I know.
I know.
I play a red Rake. I get my, my either Ashwings out.
You're playing Icelander. What do you mean Singe or what?
Oh, yeah.
He plays
it. I'm like, I'll Singe it. Great. And he plays another one.
Yeah.
And I was just like.
Yeah, you're done. I mean,
cool. And then he had, the best part was like turn 4 or 5, he's like, Thamai. I'm like, my hand, there's nothing, I don't have anything that can kill it. But I did have 3 poppers. So like, I'm like, I have game. He doesn't attack with it, of course. But I draw nothing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, build more. And then I can't pop stuff on his turn because Thamai's out. I draw, and nothing I can do can kill it.
Yeah.
I finally get the popper. On that turn, he played... I think Chromai and something else. And I saw him pitch stack his Dracona Optimi. Like, he'd pitched it with the stuff to play it. And as we're getting there, and like I know he's like 1 hand away from Optimi, he takes a turn. I'm just like, this is so bad. I died. Anyway, so I lost to him. And then somehow, after that, the next round, it was really bizarre. I was next to someone else on my pod who also lost their first game. And we were both playing people who had won their first game. In pod. And I have no idea how that happened. But I got paired into the Icelander that won round 1. So the other Icelander.
Man, I hate it when that happens. I had that same thing in Edmund, though. You know, it's like you go Icelander, and then it's like Dromai and Icelander mirrors, and you don't see the Fies, which you're there to destroy.
Brutal, yeah.
Wow.
He had the cloak, I didn't. And actually, after we were talking about it after it was over, because I had 3 quelling. So I kind of have Arcane Barrier for a limited time only. And he was like, I knew what I didn't want to happen was to get into like a rush. Like, if this game goes fast, you might win. But if I slow it down and we just, like, eventually I have Arcane Barrier and you don't. Like, the advantage is mine. But just given the way the cards stacked out, it ended up in a race.
Oh.
So, like, I actually got him down to 1 on the turn, like, unpreventable down to 1. The turn he killed me. And it was close, but I lost that game.
Yeah.
And then I got paired into Dromai in the last round and won that game. And then now we're into the Blitz rounds, which actually went really well. The first 3 at least went really well. I won 3 in a row. Deck felt great.
Oh, good.
Game 4, I played against Yangji.
Cool.
Very, very good player. And he was on... What was he on? Hold on. I have my notes.
They have a podcast, right? Yangji and...
Yeah. Attack for 20.
Yeah.
Or,
Attack
Well, used to be. That was Yanji's. There's Yanji and Yangji.
Okay.
And they're friends. But the Runaways is a channel they started as well. I got the sticker to prove it, which I put on my notebook here.
Oh, very nice.
He gave that to me after teaching me how to play FAB. Thank you so much for that. It's a cool sticker, actually. Let me find it. He was on Icelander. That's what it was. And I was on Oldham. So I was on Earth or Bounty Oldham. That's why I was willing to go Oldham.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's like I love Earth or Bounty. This is my chance to use it.
Yeah.
And like I'm excited about it. And the whole shtick is that if you ever see Toma Harvest, you create this kind of avalanche of momentum because you draw 3 and get 3 surges. So a lot of times what you can do is set up a 6 for 10, like a Glacial Footsteps or a Macho Grande. This is 7 for 10. Or what's the other one? Thunderquake, 6 for 10. Play that on that turn, but then set something else down with 3 surges. And then you either get like a free Okanold, a free Snow Under, or a 3 for 6, 10, or 3 for 10 because of the surges. And once you kind of start that chain, and you also have heave on a lot of different stuff, so sometimes you can just like loop 10, 10, 10, 10.
Wow.
A really cool deck. Andrew started that. I think it was Andrew and John technically, but Andrew was the main, like, he started here and then 5 or 6 of us ended up on a very similar deck. But I hit the Earth Lord turn, and then I drew no Guardian attack, so I had to just swing a hammer. Oof. And then I drew no more the turn when I had the surges, so that didn't happen. It was a very close game.
That sounds like Runeblade math right there.
Yeah, well, I can't resist. If I can try to play Runeblade and Guardian.
I like to push it a little bit risky.
And then last round I played against Fred from England. He was a great person, but this is last round. So either of these 2 games, right? If you win, you're definitely top 64. If you win both, you're top 32, maybe top 16. Is kind of, at that point, the position I'm at.
Is there like a money waterfall at that point of how far does that go?
Top 64 is money. Okay. Top 32 is money plus PTI.
Okay.
Top 16 is real money plus PTI.
Yeah.
Plus, the top 16 got to play in the developer
thing,
cool. Like 9th through 16th. But in that game, it was an Oldham mirror. And I was actually feeling so great because that's one of the reasons Earth or Bounty is so good. It lets you falsely pressure more than them because you have a resource advantage they never have. Like Tectonic Plating lets you pass a resource from turn to turn. It doesn't make any resources.
Yeah.
I was feeling fantastic. He does a fused Endless Winter, sends it at me. I'm doing the math.
This is painful.
He's at 4 health. In my hand, I have a fused Glacial Footsteps with a pummel, like ready to go.
How can you lose?
It's like, oh man, this is great. And here's the best part. Endless Winter swings for 8. With me?
Yeah.
If he has a red pummel, I can still do my turn. I can go down to 2 life. I can still do my turn. Yeah, I have the Surge token. It's like, this is just set up. I mean, this is ready to go. But I technically have an extra card I could block with, but if he pummels, then I can't do the turn. So it's like, well, do I just take it? I have a whole fridge left. All the armor. I'm like, I can just block it with the armor. Not risk it. If he pummels, I'll take 4, lose a card, and then probably win the game. Slide the fridge in, And then he's like, "Are you gonna block with anything else?" I'm like, "No, I'm good." He says, "All right, that'll make 5 frostbites." And the instant, I'm just gutted because I know I just made a mistake. I said I wasn't blocking anything else. 0% chance last round of Worlds for top 64. Am I gonna be like, "I didn't know that. Can you let me take that back?" No way. So you know what? I just smile. I go, yep, 5 frostbites. Like I knew it was coming. So then I don't take any damage, but then my turn comes, and instead of 10 dominate with a pummel, I swing that hammer. It's not over yet, but I proceed to lose that game on that.
In retrospect, if you appreciate the card text of Endless Winter, what do you do differently?
You just don't block. Yeah.
You feel good about it?
Yeah. I think he can, even if he has pummel, I go to 2. And then
he didn't even need it. That is devastating.
Yeah, I mean, it was the kind of thing where technically if I don't block and take the damage, and then on his turn, he has a pulse in Arsenal, then he can block for Ham of the 3, pulse to get up to, at that point, 10, even through my dominate. And he had 1 armor left that he could use, so he could armor and go down to 1. So if I go down to 2 and he goes down to 1, all he needs is a big dominate pump, on his next hand.
Right.
So I could hypothetically still lose.
So it was still, there was some risk involved in not blocking at all.
Yeah, but he also didn't have pulse in Arsenal.
Right.
So later I would find out that if I had just not blocked, I definitely win that game. I think it's the right move. Either block out with my hand and do nothing, and save the armor.
Yeah.
To, whatever. Yeah.
And Jesse, a great comment here. If only you'd taken the time to read the novel called Melissa Winter in the middle of your match.
Yeah, well, it says when you add a defending card.
Uh-huh.
So in my head, that just is classified as like a defending card when I add it. And equipment, they're not even cards, right? That's my helmet.
Slabs.
That's not a card. This is a brick of equipment or whatever. Anyways, he was really a great great person.
That's devastating though, man.
Yeah. So I ended up finishing like 80-something. Mm-hmm. And at that point, it was like, bummer. Like, that's a bummer. But then you go over to the announcement thing, and then they're announcing the top 8. And then they're going all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We know Michael's on the line. He's the only one on the line. And then 8th seed, Michael Hamilton. Nice. Gets in. We're all very excited. Andrew got 20th, I believe. Michael Fang got 42nd. And then I got 80 something. So all in all, we were still happy with what was going on.
Yeah.
Can't be mad about putting someone in the top 8 of the first World Championship. We go out. Or actually, I went to a different thing. But essentially, it's the same thing. Like, need to get rest. Michael's playing the big show in the next day. So the next day, this is fun. I am like, well, I feel okay, right? 961 is not horrible. 80 seconds not horrible. I was just happy to be there. But that finishing like that is pretty rough. Like, I could have easily been top 64 if I had just not punted it.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, strictly, I made a punt.
Yeah, there was a ton. I mean, think about the amount of prep. I mean, I have a lot of questions about that just generally, but I mean, that's a lot of preparation. I mean, getting ready for Worlds and then making all of the, feeling like all of the correct macro decisions and the thinking process and all of that is really working in your favor in that last match. And it was a technical oversight that causes the issue. Like, that kind of stuff is so frustrating.
Yeah.
That'll stick with you.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And I think it takes a lot to do very well at these events beyond the prep and being very good and making the right deck choices. It's 1,000 little decisions and 1,000 little things you've got to know.
And it's the last decision of 2 days of marathon.
Yeah. Just the very end.
That's the hardest decision to make.
Yeah. So that was just that was a rough way to end. But coming into Sunday, still excited to watch Michael. I had a month ago watched him, round by round go win the national championship, and that was exciting. Whole team was there to support what he was doing. But also at this event, they, for the first time ever, on the prize wall were cold foil lightning, or embodiment of lightning and embodiment of earth tokens.
Yeah, that's a Briar special right there.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I got to get those. But normally when you're playing the main event, you don't get any prize tickets. And they're like 500 prize tickets each. So I was like, well, maybe I'll play like a sealed daily double and see, or a constructed daily double and see. If I signed up for a couple of things, I'm like, I'll just do it while I'm in between, because they do the top 8 one game at a time. So it was like Michael played the first game, and he won't. If he wins, he won't play for another 4 hours.
Oh wow!
So there's time to do this stuff. So he wins his first game, and then I'm playing this thing, and then I'm about halfway through a game, and I get a text from Andrew, because the second game of the top 8 had resolved, and he was going to play against the winner of that game, and the winner of that game was playing Briar, and Andrew said, "Hey, if you're around, Michael's looking to get reps into Briar." Yeah. So I say couldn't talk to my opponent, and I drop from the tournament, and then I go, and they give everyone in the top 8 a list of all the decks, like what's in them.
So you were able to build the actual Briar deck.
And I brought all my Briar stuff just in case.
Wow.
So I built the deck he was going to be playing against, and it was 95% of the same cards I ended up on. There were no cards in the list that were like not tested in our jam sessions, but here it is, and we were working through the list. What equipment are they going to use? What sideboard do you think they'll use in the game? The other person was the higher seed. Do you think they'll choose to go first or second? And we're working through this stuff. And then we played 6 or 7 games in an hour and a half. And a few things. One, if we hadn't had all those jam sessions, I don't think either of us would have been able to play those games as quickly as we were playing them.
Yeah.
But we had done this specifically. Yeah. And I thought I knew the exact macro strategy that Briar would take, which is go as fast as you possibly can. Like you have to hit an early heroic and they have to not control it. That's when you win. Those 2 games I won, heroic hits the table. He's got like a red wounded bull in arsenal. No blizzard in sight, and I'm just like smack, smack. Next turn, smack, smack, smack. You get 20 points up. That's when you win.
Yeah.
So we just jammed and talked through what they'd be doing, and then we also had the list because on the other top 4 bracket, we found out it would be 5 versus the other Briar. So if that Briar won, what's different about that list, and what are they doing? And so we were working through this stuff, and that was some of the most exciting, exhilarating games of FAB. Because like. It really doesn't, for me, it doesn't mean I'm just playing the game, but also like there's this like intensity and this like, this is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Like this kind of thing. What was amazing to me though, I'm the punching bag doing this stuff. That's all great. But watching Michael dissect the game as we're playing and like the specifics of what they're doing. And like, I want to say in that top 4 game, and I think, not promising anything, I think I'm going to bring him on next week. Because I think I'm also doing the website launch is happening next week. So
we should be down on Monday. Yeah, the site.
So we can talk about all this with him specifically. But when we were jamming those games, I think he cut Wounded Bull because as we were doing them, he was like, "I'm pretty sure," because he previously cut Scar for a Scar in this match, and he's like, "I think if I had Scar, it would just be better in these." Like he's just dissecting it, and then we get a couple in and it's like, yep, twice there. Like if I'd had this, it would have been worse, or if I didn't have this 3 block, it would have been worse. And he was just making all these little, it was crazy to watch him,
like just sideboarding in different things.
Just siding him in and trying it, and like he had theories on like what would be like, why should I run this card? It was beyond even just what we had done in prep, but like specifically how to pick this list apart. Like how do I attack this? Because the top 4 Briar, it ended up being Briar in the finals, by the way, but the top 4 Briar had AB2. And the finals Briar only had AB1. And so the kill range for Icelander at the end of the game against AB1 is way higher. Like, because effectively what it normally looks like is Emerda Scolding from Arsenal for 4, use the Metacarpus node to make it a 5. Waning Moon for 3 is 8, so 5-3, and then you can instant speed in a Red Ice Vein with the boots. And then you can pump it with the Metacarpus node. So it's 5-3-6. If they have AB1, then technically they have to take 4, they have to take 2, and they have to take 5, which is 11. If they have AB2 and they have the resources to do it, then technically they can take 3, 1, 4, which is only
3, 1, 3. Yeah, which is
if you're pumping with the nodes, it goes
sure, yeah.
So it's like you know their hands that once they're at this number, you're at. Even as Briar, you have to understand that's when they can kill me and play accordingly. You also know, because you know what's in their list, do they have Oasis Respite or not? Because a lot of times you'll have to play around it in case they have it in their list. But in this case, there's nothing.
And did they not?
They did not.
Wow.
Yeah, no Oasis Respite in the list.
Okay, so no respect for Icelander, but making it right there to the finals.
2 Briars in the top 8 and top 4 and finals. So I felt vindicated that Briar was a good deck to pick. The second thing is, I don't think the world understood how bad of a match Briar had into Icelander. Like, I knew though. As soon as it was like that's your top 4 game, it's like and then I found Briar was in the finals. Not that he couldn't lose, but the odds are very stacked. Unless they were on something and playing it in a way, and they weren't.
And if that were happening, you would also be like, you would have your mind blown by the fact that somebody had figured out how to do what you thought was not possible with Briar.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting Dynasty, so it's different now. But yeah, it was just amazing to watch, and it was amazing to be a part of. Like, and it was really funny. After it was over, Michael was telling me like, and this is what I meant earlier by like you can't really ask for a better champion. Is when he told me, he didn't tell me this at all until after he won, which was when we were testing those jam sessions where I was playing Briar and it was Icelander. He was thinking at the time like, this isn't worth a lot to me, but he just wanted to help me, like give me the time I was requesting. But in the end, it ended up being, as he said, some of the most important testing, like maybe the most important testing the past month was those jam sessions. But I loved seeing him kind of get karmically rewarded for, I mean, he spent 3 days specifically just testing a match he thought was not something he would be spending time on.
Yeah.
And something he didn't expect to see.
Mm-hmm.
Like at that
He's like
point.
trying to help you out, and then it turned out helping him out tremendously.
Yeah, it just ended up being so clutch, and like we played
so
that
cool.
game 20 or 30 times. Like he was so ready.
Yeah.
To do it, and then just watching him go and
he
dissect the game
he just delivers, doesn't he? I mean, it's just not even a secondary thought of anything, but just making the right decisions. Yeah.
And it was a close call. He had 2 Blitz games. He was playing Icelander, and he played against Prism back to back.
Ooh, wow.
And that's actually a tough match. That's the toughest in Blitz, and one of the downsides of Blitz is you don't have a sideboard. So you can't be like, oh, I'm going to run these answers for Prism. You just have to either slot them all the time or none of the time. And so he was going to the last game. He had to win his last game because he played 2 in a row.
Wow.
And I think his last round was even against a Prism. It was, it was close.
Crazy.
He was very close to not making the cut. And then
it's funny how that goes.
And did you hear about his top 8 Icelander mirror?
Only from the chat talking something about the D-React. What's this?
This is the biggest. This is the difference between really good players and Michael Hamilton to me, which is early in the game he plays a brain freeze. He uses it so he gets to see his opponent's hand and put a 0-cost thing from hand on top of their deck, and he sees a sink below and some other 0-cost. So he puts the other back, and he's got the resources floating to Waning Moon.
Mm-hmm.
But he pauses and thinks to himself, if I don't Waning Moon and they don't pitch that sink below to cancel one of the damage with Arcane Barrier, because they have the Illuvian Constellas, so they'll probably do it.
Mm-hmm.
What do? Do they Arsenal the sink below?
Mm-hmm.
Or not? And so he passes, not using the wand, and his opponent Arsenals the sink below, and he proceeds to not play an attack for the rest of the game.
Right, so good.
He just doesn't attack.
Yeah.
He even would, he was doing crazy stuff to
wounded
filter.
bulls or his scars or whatever.
100%. He was just literally... So the rest of the game, the Icelander opponent has a sink below an Arsenal, and...
That's crazy.
Never gets to do the ability. Yeah. And if you're playing against Wounded Bull Icelander, it's so default to say, oh... They'll play a Scar or a Wounded Bull at some point, and I'll just sink from Arsenal. That's great.
Yeah.
And all tournament, you always Arsenal a sink below. And, Briar can't not attack you.
Right.
That's not a thing.
Right.
She's got to attack you to win the game. So, the moment that hits, it's...
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
And even on the other side of that, it's so you get into those default play patterns of what your deck's trying to do, and you just play the Wounded Bull or play this is what my deck does. Nope. But... not getting locked into those play patterns is the difference.
And even just giving your opponent the chance to do... Because it's a loss of value to not Arsenal that card.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, you're going to hold it, and then I'm going to draw. But one of the big testing things that they figured out early is in the Icelander mirror, you cut the D-Reacts. Because even in hand, if your opponent doesn't attack you, they're really low value. If it's a nice game 1 turn, it's really low value. It's great into Scar and Wounded Bull and stuff, but if you ever end up in a moment where that's the leftover card, you just don't get an Arsenal, and that's worth so much that you just can't have that in your deck at all. So the moment he saw it, it was like alarms go off. He shouldn't have this in his deck right now. Now you can penalize him because he's going to have to either pitch it or Arsenal it.
Yeah,
you're not, even if he doesn't pitch it, it's in his hand, so you don't attack. So now you just got a dead sink below in hand. Way worse than Arsenal.
Yeah, wow. That is wild.
Yeah. So that was
So what happens after Hamilton takes it home? Was there celebratory...
Yeah, so, there's a lot of hugging and jumping up and down, and then there's the stage, and he gets the big $100,000 check and the trophy, and Federico, one of the artists, did a custom, they have a blank card that he did a sketch of the trophy and world champion on it, and it's just really cool. And he's got to do interviews and he gets signed babies and just the whole process, and Michael, walk through the masses, and as we're walking out, everyone's congratulating him. And it's a whole thing. And then we went to dinner. There was this awesome place called the Farmers Union.
Is Michael full of energy or exhausted at this point?
Yes.
Both.
I think,
obviously kind of excited, but just so tired.
Yeah. We were all amped and tired. But yeah, we had a nice dinner. It was just everyone was just so happy and excited. And meantime, by the way, another teammate, Matt Coles, my buddy from the Star Wars LCD
team
days.
partner.
That's right.
That's right.
So his day one at Worlds had crashed, gone miserably, and he had done as much prep as anybody else, and was pretty gutted.
That would hit Matt pretty hard too.
So he dropped to play the call-in, and he's had a series of rough tournament. He travels to all these events, and it's just doesn't go well. I was super proud of him because in the calling he ended up going 12-1.
Wow! And he was playing the same deck he crashed out in Worlds.
No.
Or I guess Worlds is so multi-format.
At Worlds, it was draft and a construct. He was playing FAB, and that didn't go well. At the calling, he's playing Briar.
Really?
So he went 12-1, and he made the top 8 of the calling as the 1 seed, and then he played the 8 seed who was playing Reinar, and Reinar bounced him straight out of the tournament. It was like a double blood rush.
And then proceeded to win the whole thing, right?
Proceeded to win the whole thing. But I was super... So there was a combo of congratulatory because it was Michael won, but Matt had finally broken through. And top 8 of the calling is a big deal.
That calling in particular.
Yeah, huge deal. So everyone was kind of excited, and we were just having a good time. As a team, that's the goal, right? You want to... If you're going to accomplish something as a unit, that's it. And that's a huge thing.
All right, I got one more thing to ask you before I get out of here. How, given that the team prep has been such a big part of the past year really, and you've seen people come in and out, and you've had interactions with various personalities through the course of testing and playing Flesh and Blood, how do you take the game so seriously on a daily grind, want to do well level, and not have people in that team turn into very unenjoyable people to play against, be around, etc., because it's so intense?
That's a great question. I think the people that it depends on what you want. Some people, the outcome is winning, and I think that's where for everyone so far, and hopefully we'll keep doing that. We want to be as good as we can be at the game, and everyone shares that. But we also want to enjoy ourselves. So, no one on the team. There were people, certain teammates, who, out of interest for me, right, were I don't think Briar's the right deck. And partially because we saw Michael and Icelander, and clearly the meta didn't get the memo that and not everyone is going to play Icelander like Michael Hamilton. So there's a little bias. I think at Pro Tour 2 I overcorrected for how good our team was on Oldhim. My deck shifted to beat Oldhim because John and Andrew were just destroying me with Oldhim, and then I played 0 Oldhims in the tournament. Yeah. So but the recognition of people were supportive of playing what you enjoy doing and making sure you're enjoying yourself, because I think if you're not actually having a good time playing the game or being around the people that you're around, I genuinely enjoy being around everyone on the team every day. So it's not even grinding. It's spending 5 or 6 hours trying to crack Icelander with Hamilton and me on Briar is super enjoyable. And I think if you ever get to the point where you're not enjoying it, is when you eventually start burning out. Yeah,
I think honestly one of the key things is such a subtle change in perspective. But we've been talking about this on the podcast too, of how these things come about. But the simple change of I'm here to win or I'm here to play as well as I can that's so different. They might both end up in winning a world championship, but the approach of I'm here to play my best game versus directly attaching it to I'm here to win a very tangible thing that you either achieve or don't achieve changes so much of the psychology around people playing these games.
Yeah, and I feel like, it would be easy to see all that time too as a sunk cost. We did all this testing, it didn't work out. But I really enjoyed the entire process. And you always hear enjoy the process, etc. Right. But it's true. If you're enjoying what's going on, and there's a certain amount, if you don't have any success at all ever, it can be very demoralizing.
Yeah.
Matt, I think, was getting to that point where it's man, it's not that I don't enjoy this, but I think for him, it was, I don't even feel like I'm contributing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what am I doing here? You look around, it's like, these people are, like, I'm one of the worst people on the team.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, back in the Destiny days, it was like, yeah, I'll top 16. Like, that's normal.
Yeah.
FAB is hard. And there's a lot of really exceptional FAB, like, all weekend. And there were tons. I didn't mention some of them. Like, I was, after every round, like, play, I look them up, and, like, you can see their name there on the gym thing. It's like, I mean, I played against very highly ranked players, and I won some and I lost some. Like, but there's a lot of really good players is the point, and it's easy. I've said it in the past couple of big events, but I've never felt so prepared, but I also have never felt like I could so easily not win a single game.
Yeah.
I could have 0-8 day one, and it wouldn't have been shocking.
Yeah.
So that's what, like, even 3-0 at draft is like, all right, I got 3 games already.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to 0 for today.
Ship it, dude.
Yeah. It's like, all right, I'm good. I got it done.
The last thing I want to know, did you hear from Prism Mike or Dante?
I did.
Did you?
Hear from them. Ran into them a lot.
I'm surprised you did. Did you have to get your telescope out and look down at the bottom tables there to find?
Well, yes. They both played the calling. You know what I mean? And I love those guys. They were a great part of the team when they were around. And I was actually really sad because Sasha from Arsenal Pass, who beat me at Pro Tour 1, actually got sick and couldn't make it
to
the event. He's a very exceptional player, so that's kind of just sad for the whole community not to have one of the greats there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, ran into them. It was a good time. And so what is the thing? Then after that, actually, kind of unannounced, Legend Story hosted an after party on Sunday night at a place. So we ended up showing up there. Tons of FAB people, all the developers. It was really cool just to get to hang out. And it was a great weekend. I mean, you can't, even now though, it's funny, we have data and spreadsheets and we're tracking stuff and the testing process, but we're taking a couple weeks off. We're going to have a meeting about what's working, what's not. Clearly the macro worked. What do we want to change? Look at 2023, like, is everyone still in? Like, what does this even look like? And there's definitely a lot of places to still get better and optimize just what we're doing, how we're spending our time. So we'll see.
Right on, man. You got Dynasty spoilers if you want
Let's do it.
Anyone can ask questions. Of course, Zach's going to fly solo here for a bit.
Yeah, I'll actually look at chat now.
Yeah, I'll be over here and yelling at you about that Warrior Axe at some point, I'm sure.
Let's, we can pull up spoilers?
Yeah, definitely. Are you doing it manually? Or are they roboting?
I think they're roboting it.
Okay. Do we need to turn on the robot?
It might be easier if I do it manually.
Robot is currently off.
Are there any cards by name that people definitely think I should talk about?
Remote key one?
This guy?
Oh, yeah.
Brent, is Michael now officially sponsored by TC? He is not. Also, in the end, let me find it. Huge shout out needs to be made.
Shout out to you, man.
Can't shout myself out. I guess I could.
Go for it.
I
really like to thank me.
I really like to thank myself. I don't know what percent, but it's probably at least 3% responsible for the World Championship. Just kidding. Norian asking, are the Dynasty boxes already in the warehouse waiting to be shipped? They are. I can hear that process ongoing as I speak. If you're a subscriber, first off, huge shout out to you. Thank you. We couldn't do anything we do here at Covenant without you. And those usually ship about 2 days before release so that we don't break street date, but they also get to you as soon as possible. So that'll be happening anytime here. I got to find a card because I am going to do a shout out. There's a few shout outs coming. But when I scrambled to get that deck together to test against Hamilton, everything in my bag kind of went topsy-turvy and mixed and stuff. And these are pretty sweet. Got the Heart of Findel sleeves for going. It's beautiful. Also, this is one of my favorite playmats. Do you know the button to go top down?
Yeah.
Look at this thing. It's silly.
Stuff might break.
Okay.
Wait, did you buy that?
Everyone got it for being there.
Oh man.
That
is top notch.
It is crazy.
Top notch matchery.
I gotta find this thing. Hold on. It's really important. I will find it. I haven't even like unloaded my bag. Is this it? No? SoCal saying lost audio on the Switch.
Oh.
We hit something wrong, Steven.
Let me check out.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
It's coming through. Let me make sure. There we go. Okay, yeah. So use these guys.
There it is. I knew it was a little button. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we should be good. Yeah. Gone the way of Cyclops. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, someone's asking me while I was at Worlds if I ever found that Cyclops, and I did.
Oh, that's great. See, there is crossover.
Wade, how you know you're a gamer? You're pulling deck boxes out of absolutely every single bag and pocket. Yeah, I just kept going. So meanwhile, while I was over there jamming with Michael, other teammates Eric and Ian were actually playing side events. And at the end of the day, I ended up with this because of them, which is amazing. It's the cold foil embodiment of Earth. They made happen, which was incredibly kind of them to do. So I just wanted to shout them out. Also, there were a ton of people that came up over the weekend, said hello, said very nice things about Covenant and what we do, and just anyone that took the time to do that, seriously, really appreciate it. I know a lot of people were like apologizing, they didn't want to be bothersome or whatever, but it really does mean the world to have so many people out there who are with us. Thomas, yeah, what's up? A lot of people were asking where Steven was. They weren't even asking like, is Steven here? It was literally like, hey, how's the tournament going for Steven? Where's Steven at? And
so funny.
I said he hasn't lost a single game.
You'd be happy to know I spent all of Sunday chainsawing limbs.
Yeah, your own top 8, right? Chains, yeah, cutting up some wood.
The top of the tree.
All right, Brent, I'm gonna take requests from the audience. I'll answer questions, of course, but when you say a name of a card, I'm gonna say it, and we'll see if it pops. Apparently, the Annals of Sutcliffe. Did we get a book weapon? I can't tell you how much I was not paying attention to spoilers. People would walk up and ask me questions about spoilers throughout the weekend. Couldn't do it. Apparently, Assassins of Class is happening. You would be amazed at how little I know. All right, let's look at this thing. It's a book. Once per turn action, spend 3, draw a card. If an attack action and non-attack action were pitched this way, create a rune chant. All right, hypothetically, 3 for a card is not good value, but you get a free rune chant if you pitch 2 cards to do it. All right. So if my brain is trying to break this, it seems he's not playable and constructed at least, but it seems very good with chain because he can shackle to give it go again, and then you can pitch a blue and a yellow to get the effect, have 2 floating, and get a rune chant. And floating, someone's saying there's no pop-up on the screen.
Is it on your preview monitor?
It's on the preview, but it's not on the...
I'm back. And I'm better than ever.
He's gone nowhere.
Okay. This needs to happen.
It's a rune chant.
Yeah.
What's going on over there?
Is Jonathan coming in? He's probably gonna
also, while we're working through this, I do want to just shout out a huge congratulations to Michael. As I said earlier, I don't think there's a player on Earth that deserves it more. You're incredible. You put in the work, and proud to be on the team, and to the entire team for helping make that happen. It's a privilege to get to be on the Wolfpack for sure. Allerdell, I thought poor Steven just when he thinks he's free. Wyatt asking, what do you think of the alt art CNC? Do we have that fabled Command and Conquer? I have thoughts. Steven doesn't like it. You know what I think?
I don't not like it.
I really.
It wasn't as exciting art wise.
I really like it. I like the Fable being a reprint like that. One, it's the Fabled spot. So I don't know, like it not being mechanically necessary or needed. It's a lot safer than something like a Heart of Fandel, which Hamilton had in his list, and apparently the price after he won definitely went up of that card. I think you could play the game without that card in your deck as Icelander. It's not that meaningful, but a lot of games do come down to 1 or 2 points of health, so maybe it is the difference maker, so to speak. So this being a card people want and use, and it not necessarily being mechanically unique, it's still very collectible. Apparently it only comes in gold foil. There's no rainbow foil version of this. The last set there was a rainbow foil Fabled. I don't hate it. I mean, it's fine. It's not going to affect most people. Most people aren't going to open it. So it being a very playable alt art Fabled probably just makes the collectability even higher. I don't know. What's the general consensus from people watching? I'm curious. Cards are showing up now, right?
We're not sure yet.
Brent asking about Construct Nitro Mechanoid.
Gunning Dash.
Oh,
Big
Zach,
suit.
you need to pull that up. At least pull that up so Zach can see it if you get a chance.
I heard something about a mech. That's all I got. I mean, they are mechanologists, so.
Yeah, you do something and then you literally put a giant mech suit in, and then it's like a 5/5.
I just need.
You can use forever. It'll be a second on the pop.
Yeah, let me just pull it up. Mech. All right.
If you go to the official Discord, you can find that.
It's a 4-cost yellow. Blocks for 3. All right. Constructs resolve flipped as an item in the arena. Transform target mechanologist head, chest, arms, legs, weapon, and 3 hyperdrivers you control into Nitro Mechanoid. If you don't, negate this. Put them under Nitro Mechanoid. If you don't, put this in the graveyard. Okay, so pay 4, lose all of your equipment, and 3 hyperdrivers. Which, do we know what a hyperdriver is?
Yeah, it's mechanologist equipment.
All right. And then you get a Nitro Mechanoid, which looks, this Marvel version of it looks crazy. Have you guys seen this?
Yes.
Look at this thing.
We haven't been at Worlds all the time.
I mean, I've been so, you'd be, it's shocking how much I don't know what was going on. Anyways, 5 attack. What is this? What kind of card is this? Magnolus weapon. So it's a weapon. Item. Okay. Banish a... Wait, hold on. 5 attack, 5 black. I'm just taking it all in. Action. Banish a card from under Nitro Mechanoid. Attack. So, if you had head, chest, arms, legs, weapon, and 3 hyperdrives, that's 8. You get 8 of these things you can do. Overpower. That's the weaker dominate, right? Defending hero can't defend with more than 1 action card. So you attack 5. They get to block with 1 action card. When the combat chain closes, if this defended, put a -1 armor counter on it. Then if it has 0, destroy it. So it's got 5 armor as well. So you basically get to block for 5, 4, 3, 2. Don't block with it a 5th time. And then you also get to shoot it 8 times. But you can't play it unless you want to have 3 hyperdrivers out somehow and lose all your stuff. But presumably, that stuff provided value to you before going under. This is crazy. It looks awesome. This is like my favorite looking mech card so far. The Marvel version. By far. Mechs are... I don't know why steampunk stuff doesn't do it, but mechs are fine. Well, I don't know how that checks out. It's crazy. I love it. They're just going to weird places. I don't know. Oh, hyperdriver. Let's see what that does. 1 cost, red item, enters the arena with 3 steam counters. When it has no counters, destroy it. Once per turn, when you boost a card, remove a steam counter and gain a resource. Alright, that's fine. But that doesn't have go again. So you just have to play it. So it's really cool. If the game lasts more than 6 turns. You know what I mean? Has someone broken this yet? Am I missing something? They're laughing over there. I don't know.
There's a card that lets you put 3 of them into play, but I can't remember the name of it.
3 hyperdrivers?
Yeah. It's like...
Brent's saying Blessing of Ingenuity?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Cards to break cards. You know what I mean? Oh, is it not popping yet?
Yeah, it may not. The OBS has a new version that's out that may not support NDI.
Oh.
I'm fighting the robot
for a second.
Well,
it's just not connecting over there. It's not sending the image.
So, Blessing of Ingenuity comes in all 3 pitch colors.
Yeah, you're all natural today, then.
It costs 1. At the start of your turn, destroy Blessing of Ingenuity, then put up to 3 hyperdrivers from your graveyard or banner stone into the arena. Okay, so that's easier said than done. And once you get it on the table, I mean, blocking 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is crazy, and attacking for 5.
So none of that stuff has go again. So it's like a really like Iron Man build the mech dash deck.
Interesting. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Let's just scroll through here. What do we got? Dust from the Golden Plains.
Yeah, check that bad boy out.
Oh, interesting. Do they all get one of these? All the dragons?
Just 2 of them.
It looks like we have 3.
I think Themai is one of them.
Yeah, that's the Golden Plains.
That's terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah. Then there's the Dust from the Red Desert, which is for Vinsirakai. And then Dust from the Shadow Crypts, which is Necria. So, this is just Ash. You just play Ash. Blocks 3, which is great. And hold on. Okay, so it's Ash. You can use it to make any dragon, but if you use it to make a specific dragon, they lose Phantasm. That's what's happening here. That's good for the old Dragon Queen, I guess. This is a lot. Did you see we got a 2.0 version of whatever the boots are that a Brute plays?
Beaten, yeah, the Scapskins?
Yeah, Beaten Trackers. Whenever you discard a random card with 6 or more, you may destroy Beaten Trackers. You do gain an action point. Hey, that's got legs. I'll be here for at least 30 more minutes. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the dust is neat. What's the tell me this. What do you think is the best card that's been spoiled so far? Because that book, is there a way to play the book? I love books. I named one of my decks Bookworm Briar back when I was playing it at Pro Tour 1. Hamsack saying Looming Doom.
You want that unit to pop.
I'm popping per sec, right?
Oh, yeah.
That is handy. 3 cost, blue, majestic, so assuming it only comes in blue, blocks 3. When Looming Doom enters play, destroy all rune chants you control and put that many doom counters on Looming Doom. Okay, 5 rune chants, 5 doom counters. At the beginning of your end phase, remove a doom counter from Looming Doom. If you do, deal 2 arcane damage to any target. Otherwise, destroy Looming Doom. So, let's just say, you can tell I've been testing for Worlds, because we'll do the Michael Hamilton School of FAB, which is you have 6 rune chants when you play this. Just doing some math on paper. You spend 3 in a card to play this, and you convert that 6 rune chants into 6 tokens on this card, which are then worth 12 arcane damage over the next 6 turns. So you spent a card and pitched a card to take 6 and turn it into 12 over the next 6 turns, or however many it is. So I feel like mathematically speaking, 6 is probably the minimum, because you're breaking even. You could have just played a 3 for 7 on that card. There probably is value to arcane damage stacked over time. It's at the beginning of end phase, though. I would like this significantly more if it were at the beginning of the turn, because then stuff like Consuming Volition would have its arcane damage trigger potentially on 6 turns in a row. So are there any other cards in the set that loop with this? Ludiful. What's the white deck box? This is an old deck box we made for a Destiny event series. It's got our logo on it and stuff, and it just has these 2 pockets for stuff. I usually put my equipment in the side pocket. I think it was Dex Protection. That's who made that. They may have something similar to that still. Let me pull the chat out. Wyatt saying getting 2 out of these at once starts to hurt. Yeah, I mean 2 at a time does hurt, but I feel like 6 popping when the rune chants pop, and then 6 or 7 physical at the same time is similarly annoying to stop. But you could see how that could get out of hand though, in terms of stacking damage up that your opponent can't or doesn't necessarily want to deal with. Also, 2 at one time is different than 1 at a time. So AB1 covers up the 1 at a time. If your opponent runs AB1 into Viscera as an example, and they had extra resources and you attacked, then that's just popped. They could pay it off, but now they have to deal with unblockable arcane every turn for the next 6 rounds or whatever. You bet, Ludiful. Slacker, hey Zach, wanted to say hi at Worlds, but didn't want to interrupt your testing with Michael during top 8. I was at the table cube drafting. Well, hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, we were pretty intense over there. Brent saying Cryptic Crossing. I appreciate you popping those cards for me, Bryce.
I got you. Appreciate you paying me by the hour.
That's what the money's for. That card looks awesome. That actually looks like the character on the playmat a little bit over on the side with the purple. Runeblade action attacks. This is what I'm talking about. 3 for 6, right? So you could pay 3 for the other card and turn a rune chance into damage over time. But this one, if an attack action card and a non-attack action card were pitched to play Cryptic Crossing, it has the first time this deals damage to the defending hero, they discard a card, and you draw a card. So now we're talking business. Discard and draw packaged together, right? Man, this card, all of my Briar sensors are just going crazy in my head because you have to pitch 2 cards to get this ability. And I think that is good space for the game to mess around, which is these potentially potent effects, but to do it, you kind of have to inefficiently pitch to play this card. Because a blue for this is the best use of a blue to pay for a 3 cost. But you don't get the effect if you do that. So this is a really powerful effect for pitching 2 cards. The most potent way to do this would be pitch a yellow and a blue so that you have 2 floating. So you yellow first with the blue, and then you pummel this thing, which then becomes a Bryce's face. Then becomes a 10 damage, discard 2, I draw a card. Bryce loves it. Yeah. Another thing that you can do with this that's really annoying is play a Bramble Spark, fuse it with an Earth card. If your blue is that Earth card you just fuse with, plus you have a different card. Now it's doing arcane damage, so they can't even like block their way out of it. They'd have to stop the arcane and the physical because Bramble Spark gives the attack, the arcane. And it's a 6, so blocks for 3. It's a popper. It's doing a lot of things that I'm a big fan of. Yeah, this card's good. It's very good. This will get played. Steven will hate this. We'll guarantee. Put it on the box. It's a guarantee. And it looks awesome. How could we hate it? I mean, what is happening? Wyatt saying this with Bramble does go hard. Any other favorite cards so far? What's everyone been talking about? Darth Prentice saying, take a look at Berserk. Is that a card? There it is. 1 cost, 3 block, brute action, majestic. Until the end of turn, whenever you discard a random card with 6 or more attack, banish it. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. If it has 6 or more attack, draw a card. Huh. So this is good, really good in Leviathan. Have you seen this card, Steven?
Yes.
This is built for Leviathan, right?
Kind of.
He's back.
I mean, as far as discarding random cards is concerned,
I just figure like
she's tangentially interested.
It's the ability to banish from hand. Seems well if you're playing the Blood Deck game.
Yeah, hopefully you get to that point. But it's also like, so many of Levi's attacks are banished through from your graveyard to do it. You're not like running the Reinhardt discard stuff.
And it's actually like, okay, what's it doing?
You pay 2 cards to do nothing.
Yeah, well, unless
2 floating.
We've seen the 6s that when you discard them now do stuff.
Yeah, that's getting better.
Yeah,
it's definitely getting better. I think the whole game for the Ravenous Meat Axe has gone through the roof on a lot of these brute cards. The one that's discard if it's a 6 is 5 and you draw it to discard. A lot of this stuff gets kind of crazy with, especially because it's 2 cost. So like pitch a blue, berserk, and then discard something from hand, banish it, reveal the top, draw it, arsenal it. Like there's some really cool lines I think with the axe on this one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so it's less for Levi than I expected.
Maybe.
Could be.
I don't know. Like she continues to try to pull into that discard card pool. So maybe it, I mean, in Blood Rush and stuff, obviously there's some play there. Yeah, no, it's good.
Technical Foundry asking about Pulse Wave Harpoon.
The brute cards are good. Like just generally, they're just like higher. They're better than the Warrior cards, I can tell you that.
Ooh. We haven't even started talking about Ranger yet.
Ranger got some heat.
There's the Harpoon. We'll get to the Ranger. 1 for 4, blocks for 3. Good math. When this attacks a hero, they reveal X cards from their hand, where X is the number of times you boosted this combat chain. Choose an action card with defense less than or equal to X, then add it to this chain link as a defending card. Wow, I'm gonna need a star chart for this one. If you boosted, anytime there's X on a card, if it's Runeblade, you know it's busted. But if it's not Runeblade, then put a number in there and it's easier to understand, right? So
that just goes for everything.
The Runeblade?
Runeblade is busted.
So when this attacks a hero, they reveal 2 cards from their hand, where 2 is the number of times you've boosted this combat chain. Choose an action card with block less than or equal to 2, then add it to the chain link as a defending card. So as a third attack, it's got boost here, but I guess the boost is how it gets going, right? It doesn't have the paragraph there to tell me, which is fun. Picturing this as like chain link 3, particularly if you've already boosted twice. You can pull 2s. A lot of times 2 are the power cards, or like the pummels and the razor reflexes and the sonatas and that kind of stuff. So forcing that down to block is annoying. We already saw this with like T-Bone, where you're forcing equipment out to play. I think the fact that you get the choice here is really nice, and it's a 1 for 4 with Go Again, basically, that at worst gives you perfect hand knowledge, which I think is something in FAB we haven't seen a ton of. And what's that generic attack from Arsenal? Scout? Frontline Scout?
The deep cuts now.
So I do not doubt there will be a hero at some point, and really good players that see your hand and know what you can do can use that disproportionately well. And I'm going to guess at some point we get a hero that cares a lot more about that, knowing what's in your opponent's hand, that kind of stuff. We already saw the like carnival stuff. It's like pick a random card. It's like if you know that you're not going to miss, it's a pretty good bet. So that's interesting. If it's the 4th thing and you boost 3 times, then you can basically pull any card out of their hand, unless it's a 4 block. But that's going to get 99% of cards. So 4th boost card, you do this. I have a Mount Heroic in hand. It's going to make me want to slap something. Like I've been taking all this damage because I'm going to set up this big Heroic, right? And then they're just like, you know what? Thankfully it's Majestic, so they only get 3. Like, otherwise, that's one of the best Mechanologist cards. That's going to drive me crazy. It's going to drive me crazy. Ham saying Deathly Duet is another card I really like. Mateus Hazak was rooting for you at Worlds. I'm from Brazil and played against you in Star Wars Worlds 2018, Star Wars Destiny. Thanks for the FAB coverage. FAB is now starting in Brazil. Maybe I'll be at the next Worlds. Hey, if you are, please say something. Please say hello. I'd love to re-engage with you after all these years. Look at this card. It's got the most important word in the game on it. Runeblade. Deathly Duet, 2 cost, 4 attack, 3 block. When Deathly Duet attacks, if an attack action card was pitched to play it, it gains +2. If a non-attack action card was pitched to play it, create 2 rune chant tokens. So let's just say you get one of those disgusting all red hands, and you pitch an attack and a non-attack. Consuming Volition, Mordred Tide to play this. 8 damage, create 2 rune chants. or 6 damage, create 2 rune chance. So it's 8 damage for 3 cards. It's under rate. Yeah, this is a really fantastic card, actually. It's like right there. They're just continuing to straddle the line of almost exactly the same thing as every other card you play, but slightly different. Some more upside, a little higher of a fence to jump, so to speak. But let's just say you pitch a red, because you don't have a lot of go again here, and a blue. You have 2 floating. You know what you do with 2. We all know what you do with 2. You pummel that thing. That's where all roads lead to pummel. You also can creepers off of that to get your go again back. It's some foot equipment that is pretty good. Spellbound creepers. And you create the 2 rune chance. I think that this card has a lot of play. Yeah. And this comes in all 3 pitch colors, right? Can you pull up the blue one? Oh, that looked really similar. It's the same. They can't see that, can they? Just the same card popped up. I weirdly like the blue one. You're going to pitch it most of the time. You're going to block with it most of the other times. And then when you have to play it, you're going to be gummed up with cards that you can't play. So now it's a 4 damage attack that creates 2 rune chance. And it just has versatility in the blue slot. It's competing with a lot of great cards, but it does still hit that magical breakpoint of 4. I can see this definitely being like in that Shrill Skull form spot, or Vexing Malice, just as kind of like low key, weird value blue attacks for Moonblade. So don't hate having this option. Let's see. Brent's saying Drill Shot sounds Ranger to me. It's really kind of cool to be the only one that doesn't know what's happening here. Drill Shot, 0 cost, 4 attack, 3 block. Arrows can only be played from Arsenal, and only if you control a bow. It's a shame that's still a thing. When Drill Shot has an aim counter, it has piercing 1. If this is defended by an equipment, it has +1 attack. Have we confirmed that aim counters do nothing?
That's correct.
They're just things to track on top of the things that you're tracking.
Yeah, on their own. It's to help with tracking.
Yeah, when this hits a hero, put a -1 counter on an equipment they control. All right, that's that's an arrow. It is interesting because you can put a -1 on an equipment. That's a good effect. Steven laughing over there. I just don't even know how to do Ranger math. It's like this seems so hard for what you're getting all the time. If you're a Ranger out there, I have immense empathy and respect for you as a human who's willing to go through things to get slightly good things. But okay, so if it's going to put a -1 armor count, a lot of times you'd be like, let me go ahead and block with the thing that they can put the -1 on. But if you do that, then they get +1 on their attacks. This becomes a 5, a little more annoying to block. A solid arrow. It is rightfully in the rare slot. This is not a majestic level power or effect. Wyatt saying Mind Warp is one of his favorite cards. Tom Chin saying Aimless Counting. Mind Warp Wizard action. That card art is Bonkstown. It's majestic. 0 cost, 3 block. Deal 2 arcane damage to a target hero. If it deals more than 2 arcane damage to a hero, they shuffle their hand into their deck, then they draw that many cards -1. So, what's the wizard staff called? Aetherwave? Crucible of Aetherwave. Play this, pump it by 1, it's 3. If they don't pitch to cancel some amount of damage, then they're going to have to lose their hand, get a YOLO hand, and -1 card. That card's crazy. Who printed that? Wizard also gets that aura where it's +3 to the first thing they do on their turn. Like, this is going to be an obnoxious card. And I know, I can see the players in my head who are going to just love playing this card. Yeah. Although, this makes me love even more in the Wizard match. You slap that Earthward Bounty down. Does that even work? Can we pull Earthworm Bounty out? I know it's draw cards from an action card, but I want to make sure it's not action card I control. Oh, yeah, it works, dude. You play Mind Warp into Earthworm Bounty, and you're going to give them Surge tokens. That's the ultimate tech right there. Cardboard Cast, have you seen the Bolton Legendary, Zach? I'm guessing Steven wouldn't let that one get past you.
Yeah, you need to check that out, dude.
I feel like I saw it in a dream. Where was I looking at that? I'll get to that, John the Bard. Postpone saying, it's a rough life being a ranger, man. Spirit of El Arena. 0 cost. Light. This is a legendary? Light Warrior. Oh, it's a double legendary. Legendary rarity and legendary game text. You can have 1 in your deck. 0 cost. If Spirit of El Arena would be put into your soul, instead put it in the arena. You may play Luminous Ascension as though it were an instant. So you charge with this, and instead of it going into your soul, it goes into play. Kind of a downside, kind of an upside. I can't tell. And can we pull Luminous Ascension? Instant speed. Let's see what this does. I know this is the draw card. Instant speed draw cards are really good. That's what I do with my boots as Runeblade.
You've been in the Runeblade meta for too long.
Yeah. 0 cost, 3 blocks for 3. Yeah, I mean, instant speed, this card is probably just as good as like Force of Nature instant speed. Until the end of turn, weapons you control gain +1, and if that here hits, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a light card, but it's that card, yeah. If you charge this turn, you may attack an additional card. So instant speed is just like surprisey, right?
Notably, the Via the Vanguard requires you to not break the chain.
Instant speed.
So there's a couple of things,
Here. He can't resist.
So V says every attack on the combat chain is +1.
Normally, if you play this, you now break the chain.
That's right. You have to break the chain to play Lumina. So now you can have a V line going, and then all of your sword swings are at +1 for the V bonus, and you're surprising with Lumina, which is cool.
I feel like that's the combo of things I always try to do with Bolton, and then you realize you can't do it. Yeah.
The second thing is if you pop this with the hat that reveals the top card, and you can play it this combat chain, the Helm of Sharp Eye, you can now actually play Lumina on the combat chain as an instant instead of it bricking your entire Helm of Sharp Eye.
That's why we sold out of those.
Yeah. So that gets
me better. Randomly we're gone.
And then it's also just the fact that, like, I play Take Flight Raiden, and then you're like, okay, I'll take 3, and then
drop it in
for
+1, and I get to go again, and I get to draw.
And I roll in, yeah. And you could have turns where, like,
you don't draw, right? You just put it in soul.
You put it in soul. But you could have turns where you swing with Raiden for 3, and then they don't block, and then you double Lumina instant, and then it hits them for 5. You get double soul, double life gain.
Because one of the ways around the combo is if you can block them out enough where they don't have enough soul to attack enough times. But if you can do it at instant speed, then they can just wait till you don't block and then pile on.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. And even on the turn that you're going to do your instant Luminas, you can charge this card, and then it goes immediately onto the board. And now, for the rest of the game, you're instant speed Luminous. So it gives you a lot more threats. Maybe you're on Remembrance, finally. It's super good. You can go get it with Beacon.
Yeah.
That
makes sense.
The whole thing.
And what's the name of that card? The new card? El Reno? Something of El Reno?
Spirit of El Reno.
Spirit of El Reno. So, I don't know. It's cool. It looks cool.
Hot Bolton commentary.
It looks cool. I like. It's kind of like the Command and Conquer, and a lot of the cards I've seen so far. Like, at some point, it can just go weird in a good way, and it can just be different. And like, I love the idea of things that don't make a lot of sense on paper all the time or right now, but then eventually will be notable. And I feel like with the Living Legend system and these heroes rotating out, the pace of the game is slowing down enough that weird and notable gets good again. So I think that's cool. I assume the Bolton players are excited about it. It's better than not getting it.
They are very excited.
Jonathan, what?
Assassin stuff.
I haven't, but we're about to get to that. Check this comment out from Jonathan Riddle. Hope you're doing well, man. He said, no lie, I just had a maintenance guy ask hey, are you watching Team Covenant? And then we talked about Netrunner for 10 minutes.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. Are you at home or work? That's wild. Wade Jones. Soraya looks cool. What's Soraya? Since 1994, I have not tried out Flesh and Blood. Is it worth checking it out, being a Magic player? I know a lot of Magic players that are playing it, and they're absolutely loving it. So I would definitely check it out.
No, he might be talking about Ashes. Could be clever.
What is the SUR? Hold on, let me spell it for you. AYA? I feel like I heard someone talking about this.
Yeah, it's the weird angel thing.
Yeah.
That Prism can't use except in Blitz, of course.
Alright. Archangel of Knowledge. Can you pull the other one back up real quick? I have the cost and stuff on it.
Oh, yeah.
2 cost, legendary, which means you can only run one in the deck, and it is also legendary. What's the deal with Bolton and Prism getting this legendary love?
Light cards, man.
What I am happy to see talent cards in this set. Legendary, transform target spectral shield you control into Soraya, Arcane Herald. Alright, now hit me with the other card. Go again. Blocks 3, cost 2. We got it. Once per turn action, 2 cost attack. Whenever Soraya attacks, you may banish a light card from your hero soul. If you do, Soraya deals 1 arcane damage to any target. When Soraya deals damage, you gain that much life. Ward 4. If your hero will be dealt damage, prevent 4 of that damage and destroy Soraya, which is a must trigger. So you pay 2, play it. It's an illusionist. Would this count? It would count as an illusion attack, right? Yeah. It's an attack. So assuming you're running Luminaris, you attack with it for 4, and then it has Ward 4 on their turn, plus when it deals damage. This card's crazy. Thank goodness Prism's gone. What? I wonder if Legend Story had any inkling that Prism wouldn't actually get to play this in Constructed in their current incarnation. Did they make a Marvel version of this? I feel like this full art would be disgusting. Oh, yeah, there it is. See, I feel like it had to be a Marvel version because it's a Prism card. And for some reason, they're like, we're going to make all of these cards able to be the most best looking in the world. I'm sure the Prism players are both happy and sad about this one. I'm glad I'm not going to see it in Constructed. And we can do Prism, that's fine. But Luminaris is gone, right? Yeah, gone with Prism.
But the Blitz is still in there.
You said something. What?
Blitz is still good. She can still play Blitz, right?
What's a Blitz?
Check out the new Warrior axe.
We got a new axe? Oh, is this? We saw this one a long time ago, right?
We did. We spoiled it, but I want you to look at it again.
Once per turn action, 3 cost attack. Attacks for 3. Oh man, okay. Ooh. When Merciless Battle Axe attacks, if its attack is greater than twice its base attack, the attack gains overpower. Have we seen any cards that make this good yet?
Pull up Cleave. No. To answer your question.
Adventure Co. What's up? Saying we're supposed to get a new Light Illusionist in 2023, according to James White. See ya, Alardo. Cleave, 1 cost, blocks 3. Your next act this turn gains +4, and when it hits a hero or ally, you may deal that much damage to another ally controlled by the same hero. Go again. So you get to 7 real quick.
What's it cost you?
Cost you 4. 4 for 7.
That's warrior math.
Yeah, it is warrior math. Oh man. All right, let's look at this assassin. Do you know the name?
Moving on.
Yeah. Let's see if I'm gonna be an assassin player or not yet. Arachne Huntsman. Got something. He's a creepy looking dude. 4 intellect, 40 health, standard. Assassin hero, majestic. Whenever you play a card with contract, you may look at the top card of target opponent's deck. You may put it on the bottom. So like anti-opt. Alright, what's a contract? We got any contracts? Didn't know we were getting the lawyer of FAB. Fleece the Frail. This is a common. Cool. 0 cost, 4 attack, 3 block. Contract. You are contracted to banish opponent's cards with 2 or less defense. Whenever you complete this contract, create a silver token. When this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. So you play this card. His ability triggers, you can look at the top. It's going to be so annoying.
If it hits.
The contract hits either way, right? Not the contract, his ability. Can you pull up Arachne again? The assassin? I thought it was when you played a contract. Whenever you play a card. Yeah. So go back. So, what do you say? So, it does get dirty. So, a 0 for 4 gets played. He looks at the top card of your deck, decides to put it on top or bottom, right? And then, when it hits, you banish the top card of the deck. And I assume a contract is just, when you fulfill this condition, you get this benefit, if it's in play. So
you could, because of his ability, you could complete it without even hitting.
Nah, it has to hit to banish. He can just make sure there's a 2 on top.
Put it on the bottom, not banish.
Yeah, if it's a 3 block, he can put it on bottom and have another shot at this actually banishing. But then he has to do something with the silver, and this doesn't have go again. So that's a fine finisher. We got any more assassin attacks?
Yeah, let me just run through all the alliterations.
Spider's Bite. Plunder the Poor. Don't ship that one yet. 0 cost, 4 attack, blocks 3. You are contracted to banish opponent's cards with cost 1 or less. Whenever you complete this contract, create a silver token. When this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. Okay, so same match, just different conditions. So you would maybe sideboard in different attacks based on the hero and what you expect them to see. And his ability is exceptionally powerful. I always think about it through a Briar lens right now because that's where my brain's at. Every time they see a heroic, they can just put it on bottom. Like, that's frustrating. Sam, hey Zach, making a vlog of our experience at Worlds. Got a shot of you playing on day 1. Did I ever sit next to Yuki? Unsure if it's her. I am pretty sure I sat next to Yuki at some point. All right, Spider's Bite. Once per turn action, cost 2, attack, go again. Piercing, they block with armor, it gets +1. When this hits a hero, the next time they defend with 1 or more attack action cards this turn, those cards have -1 while defending. So it's the next time. 2 for 1, go again. One-handed dagger.
There's a right side variant too.
Alright, so you can play both daggers. They do the same thing though, eh? Can you help raise your reflex? Doesn't it say dagger?
Sword or dagger.
Ah, there it is. Look, big brain. They were thinking. They knew what was coming down the pipe. Alright, pull the assassin dagger off if you can. Alright. When it hits, so it's really, it's coming in for 1. You don't really want to block it. You're probably going to let it hit. The next time they defend, it's -1. That's pretty good. Takes 4s down to 3, which means they can't de-react your contracts or whatever, which is pretty good. Do we have the equipment? People keep talking about the equipment.
I need a name. I don't have it.
Alright, let me just pull it up. Assassin. Let's pull up Black Tech Whisperers. Blocks 1. While Black Tech Whisperers is in your graveyard at the start of your turn, you may destroy 2 silvers you control. If you do, equip them. Alright, so you buy them back. Your contracts get you silver, your silver gets your boots back. Attack, reaction, destroy Black Tech, target assassin attack action gains. When this hits a hero, it gains go again. Wow, this thing is crazy. See, block 1 is battle worn, so it stays around. Then later, you attack react to give something go again. Great. And then if things hit, you get silver, and silver lets you get these things back over and over and over and over again. That's a great legendary. Those are good. What about the Mask of Perdition? It's majestic, blocks for 1. While Mask of Perdition is in the graveyard at the start of your turn, you may destroy 2 silvers you control. If you do, equip Mask, attack reaction, destroy Mask, target assassin, attack action gains. When it hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. So double banish. I'm curious what the silver economy is going to be on this guy. Because if he can routinely generate a decent amount of silver, This is going to be brutal. Ah, and it looks similarly brutal. What about Eradicate? Let's look at a couple of these Majestics.
Oh, great. Eradicate.
There's 5 pods. Eradicate 1 cost, 4 attack, 3 block, Majestic, Contract. Your contract to banish opponent's yellow cards. Well, that's interesting. Not a lot of people play yellow cards. You know what I mean? I had like just a couple in my deck this weekend. When it hits a hero, banishes the top X cards of the deck where X is the damage dealt by Eradicate. Well, that's... Is this a decking deck? Is that what this is? It is. I'm going to start getting decked. So comes in for 4, you raise it up to 7. If they just were like, I'll take it, you banish 7 cards. That's like almost 10% of their deck. You do this 3 times a game.
Or you spiders bite them first to play this, so they're 4 blocks or 3 blocks.
Mm-hmm. Tell me this. Are you planning on playing Assassin? If you're watching this later, you can leave a comment as well. But if you're live, are you planning on playing Assassin? And what is your primary win condition? If you look through all the cards, are you thinking, I'm gonna put their best cards on bottom, and then I'm gonna literally just deck them? Is that what they're doing? You have armor that keeps coming back, you know, and you just gotta keep using it. Asking for a friend. Leave no witnesses. Getting mentioned. Why important they say in the contract stack. So if you played 2 or 3 attacks in the same turn, all those hit if they hit. Contract, you're contracted to banish opponent's red cards. Whenever you complete this contract, create a silver token when this hits a hero. Banish the top card of their deck and up to 1 card in their arsenal. Holy macaroni. That one's good. That one's very, very, very good. It's... Although, you know, all this banishing going on, it's a shame there aren't heroes that can play cards from their banish zone. That just occurred to me. So against Shadow Heroes, the Assassin is bad. Like, if Chain was still around, he's like, yeah, you can banish my arsenal. YOLO, it's a Shadow Averser. I wanted it there anyway. Huh. Dr. Toke. I believe a certain Tim Bunn is playing Arachne day 1. It would make sense. He's going to drive me crazy. What do your cards do? Oh, they take away the cards I want to play and have fun with. I see. All right, let's look at the other Majestic. Or there's a couple more. Regicide. There's a ton of Majestics. What has happened? I guess this is the introductory set. That's fair. Luke saying 100% my win condition is... And then it disappeared. If I can complete contracts, I will have fun. I like decks that give me things to do, even if I don't win. Well, you sound like a lovely person to play a game against. Regicide. Did you guys see the spoiler video for this card? That was very well done. Yeah. Legend story. 0 cost, blue, blocks for 3, attacks for 3. Arachne specialization. When this hits a royal hero, they lose the game. That's printed right there on the card. When the combat chain closes, you lose the game. Regicide can't be defended by cards with the same name as cards in the defending hero's banish zone. Okay. Interesting. See, what's the royal crown? Joshua. Zach, are you planning to mow me? Me. Hello. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. I like that Taylor Swift lyric just right in there. Crown of Dominion. The hero is a royal. When you equip Crown of Dominion, create a gold token. Generic equipment head. So if you play this card in your royal, or if you're the emperor, A or B, and your opponent banishes a bunch of your cards, and then they play Regicide on you, and you can't block, you'll lose. Or, like earlier we were talking about, you can't play these cards together, but caring about what's in your opponent's hand. If you banish a bunch of stuff, and then you can know what's in their hand, with like a frontline scout, I know they can't block, and then you send Regicide at them, you win the game. So in my experience, cards that have the words "you win the game" printed on them fall into 2 distinct camps. One is highly thematic, very unplayable, never see the light of a tournament. The other one is totally busted, breaks a tournament, creates a lot of unfun moments for a bit in a tournament scene. Now, it's restricted to Royal. It's very thematic. Assassin comes in, assassinates the Royal, ends the game, of course. That's really cool. That is super thematic. So I hope it fits into the first one. Highly thematic. Potentially even fits into like PvE scenarios where you're like playing against some emperor that is awful. But I hope it's not like game tiltingly, like they can somehow make you a royal and you didn't even see it coming. And it's like, you're the king. We're going to get you. It's like in Stormlight Archive, there's actually an area where they keep electing new kings. But assassins keep coming and killing the king. So no one wants to be king. So actually getting nominated to be king is like this very, very big negative thing. So hopefully that's not what happens here. But we'll see. We will see. Back to the assassin cards, though, that don't just end the game. Surgical Extraction. Some of these cards are brutal. If you're... Not for kids. 2 cost, 3 block. Everything blocks for 3 now. That's right. Did they get the memo? Did they get the memo? 4 attack. Contract. You are contracted to banish opponent's blue cards. Whenever you complete this contract, create a silver token. When this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck and look at their hand and banish a card. That is good. Huh. They get any pumps? Any reactions? Let me see. I'm just going to look for reaction. Ooh, that is gruesome. Shred? Have you seen Shred? Holy cow. Turn your eyes away if things bother you. 0 cost, attack reaction, blocks for 3. Did I mention that it blocks for 3? Target card defending an assassin attack gets -4 this combat chain. That is a bamboozler. That is crazy. Alright, run. So you can run what? 9 of these? Mm-hmm. Even the blue one is fantastic. It's blue, it blocks 3. So it's hitting 2 of the necessary hallmarks of any good card in FAB. Very flexible, and then even the -2 will get your hit effects to come through. What's up?
So you could get through some of the unmovables too on your contracts.
Oh yeah.
Spider's Bite and then a Shred.
Crazy. All right, Assassin looks. I just hope. Mark me. Just mark me. I just hope that we don't end up in a I'm discarding all your cards meta. If that ever happens, I will be displeased. If I'm losing a lot of games at greater than 0 health, and it's because I'm just out of cards, and it wasn't because I just played inefficiently and didn't actually try to kill you, that's going to drive me crazy. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, man, I hope not. Hope not. I'm looking through the Runeblade cards real quick. Amethyst Tiara, we saw that before. Love the look of it. Diabolic Ultimatum. 3 cost blocks 2. If an attack action card was pitched to play it, each hero chooses and destroys an ally. If a non-attack action card was pitched to play it, each hero chooses and destroys an aura. That's just... We always talk about these cards. It's just seeded for the future. It clears 2 very big problems if they become problems. No immediate use for it, but I like that it exists. This art looks crazy. Blessing of Occult. It reminds me of Bounding Demagogue. He's kind of walking down the hallway, but anyways. 1 cost, 2 block. At the start of your turn, destroy Blessing of the Occult, then create 3 Rune Chant tokens. Steven tagged me in this over the weekend, not realizing I didn't have to go again.
Yeah, it's a Steven classic.
Yeah, but this is 1 for 3 Rune Chants. If the Rune Chants become resources and damage later on, I could see... Runeblades only have so many ways to create Rune Chants. Viscerai, obviously very good at it. Every time he plays a Runeblade card after playing a non-attack, he gets a Rune Chant. But when you actually start looking at ways to create Rune Chants, especially outside of Viscerai, Runeblade doesn't have a ton of it. So I dig getting more cards that do let them do that. And on the surface, this not having go again is really restrictive. Chain would have been pretty fine with this card. Ooh, this card looks cool. Aether Slash. 1 cost, 4 attack, blocks 3. If a non-attack was pitched to play it, deal an arcane damage to a target hero. That's a fantastic Briar card. Like, just really fantastic. She gets the embodiment of lightning, has go again. You pitch a non-attack action to play this, have 2 floating. Does the arcane damage, which the attack is doing it, so you get your embodiment of earth, and then you can swing the sword because you had go again. So Briar loves this one. It doesn't even say earth on it. We'd be happy if it did, though. Runic Reaping. A lot of blocks for 2 over in Runeblade, Bill. Next Runeblade attack action you play this turn gains when it hits, create 3 rune chance. If an attack action was pitched to play it, the next Runeblade attack gets +1. Alright, that's 1 for 4 value in like the weirdest way possible. That's what I'm saying. I like it though. This
flesh and blood, man.
This is wider, not deeper. This is exactly what they need to be doing. Like some Runeblade hero is gonna love some of these cards at some point. And I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. And then of course we get the Skyfire Lanterns. I'm just scrolling through anything that sticks out real quick before we get out of here. Illusionist. Any notable cards we haven't talked about yet? Like the Ornate Tessin.
Have you seen Jubil?
I haven't seen it yet. I'm trying to find it. Jubil, Spellbane, Warrior Weapon, 2-handed sword. Once per turn action, pay 1 for 3. Hey, that's okay, math. Whenever this hits a hero and you don't control a Spellbane Aegis, create a Spellbane Aegis token. It's an aura with, if your hero be dealt arcane damage, you may destroy this to prevent 1 of that damage. Okay, so it's kind of a 1 for 4-ish. Looks awesome. I'll go back to that every time. I don't know. The Warriors like this? I think maybe.
We like anything we can get.
No.
A 1 for 3.
What's the use case for running out of her Dawnblade? It's the same math. Yeah. Like, are you going to give up the 1 counter against arcane classes to block a run chain?
I mean, if you're playing a hero that's not Dory, you have to do more work on Dawnblade to get it to fire. Whereas this is like an in the chain situation.
Oh, sure.
Into the wizardy and
like, does Bolton not play Raiden? Does Dory not play Dawnblade? Does Cassie not play Sabers?
Yeah. You think this is hinting at a different warrior down the line?
Yes. Sword dancing type of some kind.
The Emperor too is warrior.
Emperor, yeah, Emperor can run it. That's probably the use case, isn't it, Bryce?
It would. It would. Can we pull the Emperor back up? Let's just look at this guy.
Wizards get warrior set.
It's a wizard warrior, I forgot.
Bryce has been drinking water. Can you pull the Emperor up? When he said Jubil, I thought it was going to be Jubilee.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not. Emperor, Durkhive, Azir. Royal, Draconic, Warrior, Wizard, Hero, Young. You may only have red cards in your deck. Pay 3, search for Command and Conquer, attack with that, and shuffle. Okay. Yeah, he's going to need to do something with all those reds. 15 health. How are you supposed to play this guy? Has anyone played him in Blitz yet, now that we have all the cards? I'd be curious. I hope he's good. He looks awesome. Someone should tell him there's an assassin hanging out. Any other cards? That's exciting. I'm excited about this set. Everyone get a little something? Let me just scroll back through real quick. Of course, we get Rock. Maybe the card of cards here. Oh, the Steelbraid Buckler. I really like cards that can compete in a slot for other cards that are maybe hard to get, like Rampart or Stalagmite. So it's a generic Guardian Shield that is 2 and 1, and we've seen cards that remove -1 counters from equipment. You don't have to pay for this like you do with Rampart. So as I've seen playing Oldhim and Blitz, the 2/1 on Stalagmite is really, not having to pay is a really big deal, because you have to have something to do with your resources that are left over. Otherwise, paying for Stalagmite is pretty inefficient. But this is only a rare. So I really like this because I feel like in Blitz and even CC, if you're new, it's like a perfectly playable Guardian equipment. And if you don't have the elemental talent, then I think it is directly competing for that Stalagmite slot. But this is, I like seeing these kind of cards. It reminds me of Mask of the Pouncing Lynx, where it's not the same thing as Mask of Momentum, and it's offering very different value, and in some cases, better value, but easier to get. So I hope they do a lot more of this. Guardian cards. I'll wait till I have my pack to see what those do. Terry and Shuko. Ninja Arms equipment. 1 block. Destroy Terry and Shuko. The next Crouching Tiger you play this turn gains +2. Can we pull up Crouching Tiger?
Yeah.
I know this is the whole thing. It's going to make my head spin. Wow. It looks awesome. Ephemeral. If Crouching Tiger would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, instead it ceases to exist. Oh, man. Legend Story, you guys are crushing it. 0 cost, 0 attack. Doesn't do anything. Oh, is that like an alt art version?
Marvel.
Gonna need a lot of those. So it doesn't do anything.
Let's go again.
It does have go again. I mean, clearly, you play, you know, if we want to talk about being busted, you create Crouching Tigers in your Banish Zone, right? Can you play them from your Banish Zone straight up all the time?
Yeah, you just banish them.
Surely you can, right? Can you pull up the other Crouching Tiger? It has text on it. Garter, our pop system is down, so that's why the cards aren't showing. Crouching Tiger, 0 cost ephemeral. Crouching Tiger will be put into a graveyard from anywhere. So you can't play it from your. Where do these Crouching Tigers go? Oh man. Where's the hidden dragon? You know? Okay, like Roar the Tiger. Create a Crouching Tiger in your hand. Crouching Tigers you control gain +1 this turn and has go again. Clearly on turns where you play like Art of War, give all your attacks +1. That sort of effect. You start stacking these up. If you can create a whole bunch of Crouching Tigers, then you can Crouching Tiger your opponent right off the table. Mind State of Tiger. 0 cost aura. Start your turn, destroy Mind State of Tiger, create a Crouching Tiger in your hand. This is going to be some combo wombo ninja. Tiger Swipe. Crouching Tiger was the last attack this combat chain. This has +2, go again, and when it hits, create X Crouching Tigers in your Banish Zone, where X is the number of Crouching Tigers you control. You may play them this turn. Yeah, this is going to get out of control. I know the ninja players. I know them well enough to know this is going to be uncomfortable. And tell me this. If you're out there and you're a ninja player, are you super excited about Crouching Tiger decks? Because I assume this is like just right in the pocket. Thematically and visually and everything about this. Meanwhile, we got the Warrior Axe. We've seen that. Dash gets a new gun. We talked about that. Assassin. Does every class get cards here? Ranger. Rainblade. Wizard. Illusionist. I'm sad we didn't get any more Earth cards. I was promised more Earth. You know what I mean? That's one thing I was looking for. Someone asked earlier how it would feel if Briar hits Living Legend, but then they reprinted Briar with only the Earth half of her ability, and she could only play Earth cards. I wouldn't hate it. I'll lose Lightning Surge. The go again would be a bummer to lose. It's pretty useful sometimes. Where's that? Someone's saying this round's on me is really good against Crouching Tigers. That's funny. Sometimes they'll create in hand, sometimes they play for Banished Zone. I gotcha. Although, you know, like a Crouching Tiger token in hand, if you have Art of War, is nice because you can play Art of War and banish the Crouching Tiger and not have to lose an actual attack. Just some token you made up in your mind. Luke saying, did we ever talk about the book for Rune Chance? Yeah, let's pull it back up. Anyone got any lines on this one? What are we doing here? Reading the book. Annals of Sutcliffe. Once per turn action, 3 cost. Draw a card. If an attack action and a non-attack action were pitched this way, create a rune chant token. I usually do pretty good trying to find weird ways to bust something, but this one is just I'm not reading so well today. Theo was saying Creepers plus Looming Doom could be a combo. Pull Looming Doom real quick. Is this... There's no weird scenario, right? This is a non-attack action. Just correct me if I'm wrong. There's no weird scenario where the timing is such that you can play an attack, rune chants pop, and do damage, and then you boots in this instant speed to destroy the same rune chants somehow, like the way the frostbites aren't really gone, but they're gone, and you instant on top of them going away, and then you give them more frostbites, and it's this whole weird thing. Hollerdale saying, are we still live? Cool, I'm back. We are still live. You can't do that with Looming Doom, right? Because as soon as you play an attack and those rune chants go on the stack, you can't go back and destroy them and get the benefit of the damage and the destruction, right? Africa, a book that needs two hands to hold must be a tough read. Grant saying on your second attack, you can combo them with popping rune chants. Oh, really? Because you can't trigger creepers unless you played an attack. So if you play an attack before it's on the chain, there's a moment to play instance. I get it. So there's a moment to play instance. And you actually, in that moment, can't use the creepers as an instant because the attack isn't attacking yet. Once it resolves and it's attacking, now you can play instance. But once it is attacking, the rune chants have already popped. And you're past the moment where you could instant this in. So hypothetically, let's just say you have a Runeblood incantation out. Start your turn, rune chant gets made. Everything's cool. You play, let's just get real crazy with it. Forget the incantation. Let's say you play Mordred Tide. Then you play Swarming Gloomveil with Viscerai, creates 2 rune chants. Gloomveil now has 4 attack and go again. And you've created 2 rune chants. Everything's fine. Then you play Revel and Runeblood, create 7 rune chants. So now we are at 9 rune chants. We played a Mordred, a Gloomveil, and a Revel. So we technically have a card in arsenal and a card in hand still. And then how are we going to do this? Because if at that point you could Tunic, Swing Sword, or let's say Energy Potion, because it's got to get real weird. Energy Potion, Swing Sword, have a resource floating, pay 1 creepers, then pitch a blue to play this card. Then you have 9 rune chants that both pop for 9 damage, and then you put 9 tokens on this card. That's how you make that card work. But my goodness, that's got to be stacked. It's got to be stacked. Bloating Skull. Oh no, there it goes. Ironweave. There it is. Boom. 2 resources on top on your chess piece. So then you can do that exact play if what you have is... you know what? You can make it even crazier. You could also have... what are the gloves? Quill Hand. Vexing Quill Hand. So with Mordred, you pop Quill Hand to get 3 more rune chants before that hits. So now you get 12. 12 rune chants pop. And can you imagine too? Man, this card was 1,000,000% printed thinking you would have Skeletor. Just unquestionable. Because if you think about how easy this is with Bloodshea Skeletor, you play the Mordred, you play the Gloomveil, you play the Revel. Now you have 9 rune chants. You pop the Skeletor. Then you play... Does that even work? Is that accurate? Could you pop... Hypothetically, could you pop Skeletor in the moment before the rune chants are gone? Use the boots to instant speed this in at -9 because you have the 9 rune chants and the Skeletor ability floating. Also, technically, would the rune chant you create from playing this card be in play to be triggered onto this card? Asking for a friend. Or would they actually just stay in play? But because if they stay in play and you play the Bravo, then they're going to get blown up, and no one wants that. David, no, please don't make it crazier. Oh my goodness. All right, well, yeah, that's what was meant to happen. Now it's harder. It's still possible, though. I see. And, you know, maybe the best way to get free 2 resources is Runeblade is just play Tell Me the Arknight. Pitch a blue, play it, gain 2. You could pitch stack this, but let's back all this up. None of that matters because, I mean, the game's going to have to go, even if you put 9 tokens on this, it's going to have to go 9 turns after you play it to pay out all the way, you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's certainly fascinating, and this art is amazing. But yeah, it's a Runeblade card, isn't it? It's gonna be really annoying at some point. Someone's gonna bust it. So I'll give it 1.5 thumbs up for being perfectly Runeblade. All right, I think I'm gonna wind this thing down. We have the buttons ready. Hey, are you able to do that on your side, or does Steven have to hit something over here?
I can do it for you.
Again, I just want to say a couple shout outs before we go. Congrats to Michael on winning. You definitely deserve it. Huge shout out to the Wolfpack for helping me get better at the game. Huge shout out to everyone here for watching and participating in our community, and everyone on the Discord channel, and everyone that subscribes to us. We couldn't do any of this without you. And to Legendary Studios for a remarkable game, for events that bring people together and deliver on their mission of bringing people together in flesh and blood. This weekend was a true highlight and a privilege to be a part of. So thanks to everyone for being a part of it, everyone that said hello, everyone that gave me things like Mr. Chocolate himself gave me the stack of alt tokens. Look at this guy.
Ooh, nice.
See that Ashwing with the Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah, it's great. That's so cool.
Anyways.
Congrats to you, man.
Thank you.
It's not a hard or not an easy accomplishment. You're that close to the 64, and next time the top 8, and next time first place.
Yeah, I think next time I'm just going to go win.
You and Hamilton.
That's right.
First and second.
Yeah.
It'd be lovely.
Speaking of Hamilton, probably going to bring him on next week. So if you want to watch us play with the Dynasty cards, I'll see you next time.
I'd love just to listen to him talk about how to use a turn wisely.
It'll drive you crazy.
Yeah.
It'll make your decks get weird too. My Briar deck started getting really weird.
Love it.
Yeah.
See you guys. Take care.